Happy Friday the 13th, everyone.
Yeah,
Will it be
happy
Friday? It will be Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
It is Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th.
Everyone
It is Friday the 13th.
It is Friday the 13th.
Everyone get your Stage 3 limit break of Vincent ready, because it is Friday the 13th, baby! What is that one called? Hell something?
It's called Jason.
It's called Jason.
Jason, this is the Every FNFF podcast, and across from me is Alex.
And across from me is Curtis.
Oh no, feedback loop.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the head of the table because I am the God Gamer. I am Carl Germ.
And on the bridge is Girl.
Yeah.
At the
He's in captain's chair.
oh man, I'm already forget the cab. Is that
Oh, the cab
is it
of the
the-
train.
I already forgot what the fucking front of a train
Where
is
does the engineer sit?
I'm right here, buddy.
Yeah, so we got through Cosmo Canyon. We really slogged it out with those dialogue
We're
boxes.
done with this place.
We're done.
It's over.
Yeah, pretty much. We got
Never
that.
again.
We got that full cure materia.
I still
Yes.
did not go back and get that.
Who needs it?
I apparently I don't.
Just don't get sick.
If you like your full cure materia, you can keep it.
Oh no!
We're back.
All right.
So we're back on the high winds.
Yeah, Bugenhagen's come with us.
Yeah,
Just floating around.
just floating around.
What does he need the airship for? He's got a float materia.
Yeah. Also, I always felt like he was maybe sitting on another huge materia, and because like the huge materia floats kind of.
Yeah.
It could be a master materia. Does materia get bigger as you use it?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the only bigger materia that we saw was like the black materia and like the crystallized materia of like in the places that we needed a gold chocobo for.
What color is float materia?
I don't think there is any float materia.
Yeah, I don't think actually float is in this game.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like a Final Fantasy spell, but it's not. I don't think it's actually a materia.
Yeah.
So it is rainbow colored.
Oh, never mind then.
Uncanon. Yeah, so Bugenhagen's on the ship now, and he loves machinery.
Yeah, I do.
Smells like malarkey.
Yeah, oh no. This is gonna be a long one.
Oh,
This is gonna be a long one.
We're all revved up.
He says the high wind smells like machinery. He loves the smell, and then says, "Of course, I also love the smell of nature." Which
Bugenhagen can have a little nature.
it's gonna be a long one. And yeah, so he goes up on the deck to pass the time,
Yeah,
and says he can feel the workings of the planet in the smell of the wind.
it's pretty nice.
Yeah, he's a wise old man.
He is.
Yeah.
I bet it smells really good on the highway.
Did you talk to him on the deck once he goes up there?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He just says, "I wonder where you're taking me."
Yeah.
What? we discussed this.
Yeah, you know, my dude.
It's McDonald's. We're just gonna pull up into the McDonald's drive-thru, order us a coffee, and pull off.
We're gonna pay it forward for the people behind us so they can have their chicken nuggets for free.
Yo, did you talk to Yuffie on the way back in?
I did.
Great text box.
Hell yeah. She says, I was thinking, phew, why does materia always have something to do with battles or magic? I bet the ancients must have always been fighting. It must have been, terrible. So I think like she's saying that like through like almost vomiting because she's still sick.
Right. Which is like really interesting, like an interesting piece of like
'cause-
lore there. Although I mean, like, not that Yuffie's like the expert on why materia is the way it is.
Yeah, but it's good insight. It's like a question that we haven't really asked at all.
Yeah,
Like we've been
right.
talking about this game a lot, but like that question didn't really
Wouldn't
come
it be
up.
possible that there's like materia, like if this was like real life, wouldn't it be possible that there's materia that doesn't serve some kind of like violence function?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, where's my sweet and sour materia?
Although I wonder if you could
Fuego.
like use like experience plus to like get like really good at guitar sweeping really fast.
Oh god, I fucking wish. I need that material because I suck at that. I've only got the mastered slap bass material.
Yeah, where's that at? Like, why can't I put materia on my guitar? And
It's one of those things that you can't get it. You can't get the other until New Game Plus. Like it's
Yeah.
one or the other unless you use
Yeah,
some sort
right.
of glitch.
Kate's got some real sad.
Real, like just instantly, just again. Come on.
Yeah, some real sad text. He says, "I told Eris's mom about her death. Elmira was cried herself silly."
Yep.
Am I reading that right?
You're reading that
am
correct.
I saying that
yeah,
correctly?
That's what it says on mine as well.
Elmira was cried herself silly.
So
so
it cry or cry in?
Cried. Whomst amongst us hasn't was cried ourself silly.
Yeah, you're right.
I've
Yeah.
listened to Joy Division.
This guy R cried himself silly.
this guy R cried himself silly. Yeah, they fixed the R but didn't fix this. That's amazing. I went through this and didn't even think about it till just now when I was reading it.
There's a lot.
It really took the emotional wind out of this scene.
Yeah. There's a lot coming up that I've noticed weird translation errors. In
Really?
this particular, like, not necessarily today's episode, I think, but, like, the upcoming ones that we have. Like,
Yeah.
just some of them are just not, like... I feel like towards the end of the game, they're like, all right, we got to focus all our efforts on Xenogears.
I bet that they got like either crunch timed or whatever because like the translations get wonky in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is also making me think because Ketshi said they went to Aerith's mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was actually as Ketshi or as whoever?
I think as the person.
I would think as the person.
Because both seem very. I mean, the coming just a Moogle showing up on your doorstep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
imagine your
Hey,
son at the
Elmira,
war.
guess what?
yeah,
It's like when the soldiers come to your ward, like come to your doorstep to deliver the bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a being
Well,
lost in
yeah.
battle. It's like imagine like a mascot from the fucking
The gold
Disneyland.
saucer. Yeah.
I'm sure
holding
either
a
way,
very, very tiny folded flag.
I'm sure either way they handled it very not well because everything that we know about this
Yeah, I
guy
know.
is just like always like
Yeah.
slightly like off with.
And actually, we're getting ready to find out who they are.
Oh yeah,
as
we
well.
are.
So
Oh, yeah, it's coming
yeah.
soon. Another loose end will be tied up
Yeah.
soon.
Next week, I think.
I think it's next week. Yeah.
And yeah, if you talk to Barrett, he just says, "And Eris, she's dead." And I was
God
like,
damn,
Jesus.
Yours says that. Mine says Aerith too. Still.
Well, mine says Aerith too, which is weird.
Guess she turned into spiritual energy, all cap, or not all caps, but
Yeah.
capitalized letters, and returned to the planet, huh?
It's camel case.
Yeah. Even if she did, there's no way we'll meet her again. Which is like,
yeah, dude, come on. Why has everyone been
Yeesh.
such a fucking bummer?
and then like,
So we can get revved up later, right?
Oh,
yeah. Well, I guess we're like we're
mean, it
on the
still is
way.
pretty-
We're on the way back to the city of the ancients, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's as Sid said last time. That girl went to that place.
Yeah, we're going to that place.
Yeah, we're going to that place, running on up that place.
Yeah.
Tifa says, "I wonder what Eris felt when she was on that altar," and I was like, "Man, this is like really
It's a bummer.
a lot of bummers here."
Yeah.
And Cloud says, "Like I'm sure she wanted to give her life for the planet," which seems like a little ignorant from Cloud. Like,
Yeah.
she probably meant to.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have been on the altar unless she wanted to die.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Ugh.
ugh.
That's all we're gonna say about that.
Yeah, and Tifa even
Oof.
says, "Like I wonder." I don't think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tifa says, I don't think she wanted to die at all, but was planning on coming back all along. She always used to talk about the next time, and in like quotations. And she said, she talked about the future more than any of us.
Nanaki, aka Red, always is probably the best thing, which is like Aerith used to pat me on the nose sometimes.
Yeah.
I used to hate being treated like a child like that, but I also like the attention. I want to
Yep.
apologize to her for what I did when we first met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good
I actually do like it's still gloomy and goofy, but like Vincent's text is pretty good.
Yeah.
Where he's just like City of the Ancients, in time. That's probably what later generations will call us. Hwa ha ha ha. Only a matter of time for us.
You
Who is
either
this guy? Why did we let him come along?
Yeah.
you either die the teen or you live long enough to see yourself become the ancient.
Speaking of which, actually, well, to your question, Alex, it'll only be a couple episodes till we find out who Vincent is and why we let him come on
Yeah.
the trip with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like that doesn't answer why we let him come on the trip, but we'll find out who
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
yeah.
We let him come on the trip because he has a gun and a grudge against Hojo, so it's like enough.
And he's cool as hell looking.
And
He's
an
goth as fuck.
Yeah.
I think Sid just says, I wanted to give her a ride in the high wind.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
says Aerith. I wanted to give her a ride in the high wind, which is very sweet because if like we remember back, there was that whole conversation between Aerith and Cloud where she was like, "Oh, will you take me on a ride on that like someday?" And,
Yeah.
like I think you had the
Yeah.
option to say like, "Oh yeah, absolutely," or like
Yeah.
say that you weren't going to.
Yeah.
If you were a monster.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can get to the City of Ancients.
Yeah.
How did you get? I remember, Alex, you were talking to me about how you got to the City of Ancients again. What did you end up doing?
So I know usually the high wind can only land on grass, right?
Yeah, like
Yes.
not in forests, not like around Midgar or like on mountain paths where it's like rocky terrain. Even if it's like, it just has to be kind of on the grass.
So
Yes.
obviously, I just parked in front of Bone,
Bone Village.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
just went through Bone Village, went through the Sleepy Forest, went all the way up to the City of the Ancients.
Yeah,
And you can park right next to it.
you can literally park right next to it. Yeah,
In
it's-
the in that middle section.
in the crevasse.
God
yeah.
damn
I'll
it!
show you a screenshot. I did want to point out though before I move on that the learner pilot is level 11 now.
Yes.
So I can't remember where we left off with him, but he just says, "Okay, then let's go." And
Yep.
say, let's go.
As Carl would often say.
So I've been like always riding my gold chocobo. So anytime I land the high wind, I'm just on the chocobo, and I like,
really?
refuse to just like make it easier on myself and like send it back to the ranch because I'm like, I worked so fucking hard for this. I'm going to get my money's worth out of this. I spent so much on greens. Plus the gas mileage is pretty good.
It's fucked up, Carl, that all relationships with animals with you are just financial
Only
transactions.
chocobos. I have made my stance on chocobos very clear for this season.
Turned like car nuts, but for not truck nuts, but like we're turning into like car dads. But like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like the car meme where it's like you can fit so much.
Slabs
Silk-
chocobo.
What the fuck are the
You
expensive
can fit so
greens?
many Silkus
Silkus
greens.
greens in this bad boy. God damn it. So,
That's
yeah,
a good meme. All right.
you can go through you can
that's-
go through the way Alex did.
Yeah, that's a good one. We gotta remember that one.
I hope we do.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, or you can just use the galaxy brain strat of landing directly next to the like weird like ice enclosure thing in
Yeah.
that like fissure in the earth or
yeah,
whatever.
it goes like a mushroomy looking.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So there's really nothing else to do in the City of the Ancients besides go to our destination.
Yeah, I have some screenshots here that are pretty much just like the same stuff that we did last time. Because I thought I was
Yeah.
like, oh well, I was like, oh, I didn't do this last time where you like jump up the weird like spiral staircase. And
Yeah.
stuff. And I was like, no, I absolutely did. I remember talking about that.
So we're going through instead of going straight to where we had the encounter with Sephiroth and Aerith.
We're
And
gonna
then
go
we're-
to the
then
left.
Yes, and left instead of okay, cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which is where I first went. There's little
Yeah.
ruins.
Yeah, it's like we end up in that place where I think we may have described it as like a little amphitheater.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's a coliseum.
Yeah,
Red
yeah.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Red Rocks.
John Tesh live at Red Rocks. Dun, dun.
Incubus alive at Red Rocks.
Anyway.
Bugenhagen, alive at Red Rocks.
Yeah, so we get to that little scene, and if you guys remember, there's like a big crystal in the middle of the
Yeah,
The
it's like almost
area,
like a
right.
podium sort of thing.
yeah. And last time we weren't able to interact with it at all. It was
yeah.
just
You
scenery.
just went up to her and you're like, oh, that's weird.
And like as soon as we roll in, Bugenhagen like separates from the group, and he's like, "Yes, exactly." And he's
Yeah.
like floating around and shit. And Cloud's like, "Are you getting something?" And he's a boner. He says,
Can you get something for me while you're out?
"Head to the City of the Ancients. You guys want anything?"
Some chicken nuggets.
But he flies up to that little crystal, and we can walk over to him. And he says about it, "The knowledge of the ancients swirling around in here is telling me one thing: the planet's in a crisis."
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
like, great job, Sherlock.
Yeah. Damn, you had to come all this way just to know that, dude. Shit, man, you are smart as hell.
He says it's a crisis beyond human power or endless time. It says, when the time comes, we must search for holy.
Hell yeah.
And I think this is the first time we hear about holy in the game.
I can't remember if we've heard about it.
Christmas is coming.
But yeah.
I love that Frightened Rabbit song, Holy. It's a good song. Everyone should listen to it.
Okay, I was like, I don't know.
Raven Rabbit made me sad.
Oh my god, me too. Let's not talk about that. We're already talking about Aerith and all of that. I don't want to talk about
He
Frightened
says
Rabbit. It's very sad.
he calls it the ultimate white magic.
Yeah.
Magic that might stand against Meteor, perhaps our last hope to save the planet from Meteor.
Yeah.
If a soul seeking holy reaches the planet, it will appear. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah. And then he says, Meteor, weapon, everything will disappear. Perhaps even ourselves.
Ooh.
Which, like, ooh.
Classic. Even us.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Which I love, like, you know, we've talked about it before. Like, this game is very, like, apocalyptic at this point. Everybody's, like, coming to terms with just, like, oh, well, the world's ending. We're all going to die. And, like, Bugenhagen's like, no, there's a way to save the planet, but it'll probably kill us all, too. Yeah.
Which I really like just, like, the implications of that, where it's like... And he goes on to say, it's up for the planet to decide.
Yeah.
Like, what is best for the planet, what is bad for the planet. All that is bad will disappear. That is knows all. Ho, ho, ho.
I wonder which humans are.
Yeah, and that's like I feel like that's a pretty common sort of like thought process that a lot of people have, or
Yeah.
like a philosophical question and stuff. It's like, are we actually good for the planet? Are
Right.
we,
The
like
plan will be fine, y'all.
Mother Earth can take one more for the team.
Yeah, so Cloud says, search for holy, how do we do it? And Bugenhagen says, speak to the planet, get the white materia. This will bond the planet to humans. Just kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing or whatever, yeah.
Then
but-
speak to the planet.
Yeah.
If our wish reaches the planet, the white materia will begin to glow a pale green.
And Cloud just puts his head down and says, this is the end. Which I don't know if that's supposed, like, I don't think that's supposed to be comical at all. But, like, I love
It's
that.
pretty funny.
Yeah, he's just like, here's how we have to find the white materia. And Cloud's just like, oh, this is it.
Oh,
We're
we are
done.
fucked.
Yeah, we're fucked. There's no way.
Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, yeah, because he says Eris had the white materia.
Yeah.
But when she died, it fell from the altar. That's why this is the end.
Yeah, so if we remember back to the episode that we had the last time we were in Bone Village, where Aerith got, killed.
Owned?
No! She got killed. I'm going to have some respect this
Okay.
time. Yeah, like when she, in the like FMV, that bouncing
The thing that
materia
was in
that
her
she
hair,
had,
yeah.
turns out that's kind of crucial to saving
Yeah,
the world.
that turns out that was the useless, no good materia was the holy materia the whole
Yeah.
fucking time.
Yep, it was going to, that's why she was there,
Yeah, it was
presumably, yeah.
Yeah, it was to try to cast holy.
Yep.
It's fucking wild, y'all.
Yeah, so...
They keep coming. Oh God, I love this game. They keep coming back on things that have happened and been like recontextualize. Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably just wasn't using it right.
But yeah, so like Bugenhagen shows the party that around the crystal is like some written text.
Yeah,
right?
he kind of like floats around, continuing to say "ho ho ho" like a bunch. Like,
Yeah.
like I just have screenshots of him like all over the place, like just floating around, having a fucking blast.
Santa's weird.
And then, so like, and we can add another weird real life thing to Final Fantasy VII along the lines of there being like Texas in this game and Korean barbecue.
Oh yeah.
He says it's the writing of the ancients, and Cloud asks him if he can read it, and he says it's all Greek to me.
Yeah.
So Greece exists.
Yeah. Again,
As well.
I would like
The
to.
musical.
It's
Yeah.
all Grease to me. I would like to know what the original script said in the Japanese version. I wonder if they said something that wasn't like quite a colloquialism like
Yeah,
that.
right.
But like, oh, it's another language to me. Like,
Do. It is
Okay.
now 5 minutes later, and I looked up the script. So, on the text box in which Bugenhagen would say, it's all Greek to me, he says, Mataka Yoman, which just means I can't read it at all.
Okay.
oh, nice.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
Greece canonically does not
Okay.
exist.
He says, Cloud says, this is no time for jokes. And he's just like, I'm not an ancient. I can't read this. He points out that there's actually some writing below the ancients' writing.
Yeah.
And Cloud looks at it and he says, oh, there's something written in chalk here.
Yeah.
And it says, even sunlight can't reach ... key.
Dot in the music box.
Does it say that?
Yeah.
It doesn't on mine.
There's a note written in chalk, ... key, ... and then more in parentheses in the music box. So probably what happened is you might have taken the screenshot as it was still like scrolling the text, because I've done that a couple of
Good
times.
point.
and So we might not be 100% like note accurate in this.
Well, there's a lot of text,
episodes,
and
but-
so I've actually kind of been trying during this speech to just kind of like point out
yeah, of course.
what they say instead of every
Instead
line.
of like reading it verbatim. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot here.
Yeah.
He says it was probably written by a scientist who had been here. He must have used all his energy just to interpret these words,
Yeah.
which like it's a weird like anime trope. Like
Yeah.
it took all of my energy out. He like died next to it.
We just look
like-
over. There's a skeleton there.
Yeah, I know.
With chalk in its hand.
Yeah.
Its bone hand.
Cloud says the key to what? And beginning
Gramercy Park.
that. God damn it! Brought it back. That's like was that episode 1?
Probably.
Yeah, anyway, he says, I don't know what it's to. It probably has something to do with our riddle. The riddle must have something to do with Eris.
Yeah.
And so they kind of just go back and forth about, like, the key, where's the key? This is a clue to the key. Oh, the key's got clues. The clue's to Eris.
Yeah.
How does the Labyrinth song go?
Remind me of a babe.
What babe? The
Remind
babe
me of
with
a
the
key.
Yeah, it reminds me of a key.
Remind me of a key. A key to Gramercy Park.
Yeah.
So we gotta get this fucking key.
Yeah, that really is it. Like, there's like 8 more text boxes or more, just like the key. The key's a clue. Yeah, like it
Yeah.
just, it doesn't really say anything.
I I also don't think I got all of that dialogue because I accidentally already had the key.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this on the episode where we got the submarine, right?
Yeah.
Um,
If you're exploring underwater, it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, so I made sure. So I actually found it and collected it on my playthrough and then was like, no, I don't want to do this. So I reset and purposefully didn't grab it so I could get the most text and the most instruction that I could for this section of the game. But yeah, so he's like alluding to a place where the sunlight can't reach. There's a key, right?
Oh, okay.
Which I think is supposed to be an indication that you need to dive,
Yeah.
right? That you need to get into the submarine and dive. And I think that there's one or two instances of people around the world as well who like talk about diving in the water and shit like that too. So there's a little bit of like clue, kind of like when we were going to Meteor, where everybody's like, "Oh, go to the southern island," right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple clues to do it.
Yeah.
But it's so what we want to do is get in the submarine, and if you're at Junon, where the submarine is usually docked at, if you just dive and take an immediate right and just hug the wall for a couple seconds, you'll end up finding a little cave. Like it's like a long cave.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, there's just this big, like, it looks like a piece of like bone or coral or something.
Yeah.
Which makes sense again because like the city of the ancients, everything's aquatic.
Very aquatic.
Yeah. So it looks like a growing piece of coral.
Yeah.
That you just pull out of the fucking ground, I guess.
It looks like an old TV antenna.
Yeah. It kind of does. That
ears.
reminds me. Now, I guess maybe like the timing's weird, but the cannon is no longer on Junon on the overworld map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's gone. So maybe it was just like a weird timing thing that like it doesn't like actually remove it until after we see the scene where Cloud's like, oh, the cannon's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe like that's like a trigger for it or something.
Yeah, or maybe like as we were going in, that's when they moved it. And we somehow missed it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I fucked up my save with Black Chocobo too much.
When we were in that elevator that you can't put on 3 times speed, that's when they did
that's
it.
when they did it. That's why it took so long. But yeah, you can get the key to Ancients. I also like that I had Sid and Yuffie in the party while we were diving and everything. And the Shinra soldiers and everybody are still in the submarine.
Hell yeah.
They're
Unless
like,
you murdered them.
Unless you murdered them.
You monster.
Yeah. But what I love is that like Yuffie is like jogging in place and visibly sick like this whole time. Like and she doesn't say anything. There's no text with it. But I just love that they added that flavor in there that if you bring Yuffie, she's clearly like freaking out being in like a closed space like that.
That's really good.
I love that. That's so good.
So these guys just live there now, right?
I guess
they
man.
do, yeah.
All right.
Maybe they get shore leave in Junon.
They're like you can imagine like the submarine is docked and they're like, can we leave?
Are we
allowed
to leave?
Don't leave. If Cloud finds out, he'll come back and kill us all.
Don't worry. If Cloud doesn't show up in the next 15 minutes, we're legally allowed to leave.
We just lock the door on your way out.
Yeah.
You get back and you're like, we need to get in there. And they're like, oh, we also lost our keys to
Yeah.
the submarine.
Yeah.
Have keys to the door, right?
So that's literally all the side quest to go get it. It's just going down there, grabbing it. There's no extra text. There's no fights or
Yeah.
anything.
There could be a fight if you accidentally run into the weapon that's knocking around at the bottom of the sea. But it'd be pretty hard because if you just
Yeah, that's less of a fight and more of just like a reset.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go back and Bugenhagen's excited that we found it. And says that there's a music box in the area, and he's like, we'll go put the key in there. I'll go use the key. You wait here.
Yeah.
And like the music box is just like a cylinder.
I'm wondering if my text was different because I had the key. And you
Oh,
didn't.
maybe.
Oh.
Because
maybe
it's
so.
that probably makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, like, there's a little like apparatus in between these two little cylinders that have like little crystalline spines popping up around them, right?
Yeah.
And that like piece of coral or that like TV antenna is kind of a good way to like describe it. He places it in between the podium and it starts to spin and it's like a music box. Like those little crystalline spines are like tines on a music box. And as it turns, like as the key turns into position, it like picks and plucks those tines to make like a little tune.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of neat the way that like they try to make the ancients very like mystical. Like they're clearly capable of like using like types of machinery and things.
Right.
But
just like
it's very
different.
like natural-ish, you know what I mean? So I think it's good characterization of the ancients.
And I think this key also kind of looks a lot like the weird stair like ladder thing that we had to go up.
Yeah.
On the other side of the city of the ancients. Where
Oh yeah, it looks like it was just plucked out of, like the if there was a skeleton to a conch shell, this is kind of what it would look like.
Yeah. And what it does is it causes. So we actually like the camera tilts upwards and we can see what's above us, and like this Coliseum is kind of like in a little canyon, I guess. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're like in a little canyon is where this Coliseum is kind of built into the sides of it. Yeah.
Right.
It's open air.
Yeah, right. And I guess like up there's a river or something, because what the music box does is it diverts water to just flow over the edge of the canyon and then fall around that crystal in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it water though? Because this kind of similar thing happens when we gave Sephiroth the black materia. There was like just water just falling.
Yeah. I remember that.
Is it actually water? Or is it just wet magic?
What is water really? But what magic?
Yeah, and it's also like it's weird because unless like the river is in like the sleeping forest or something, like we don't see a river in the overworld.
Yeah.
And, like we know that we're in that like little canyon place,
Right.
like, on the world map, so it's just coming from somewhere. But
Yeah.
we can chalk it up to just being magic.
Yeah, right.
Just like materia, we're like don't like suspension of disbelief.
I mean, there's
like,
water in the City of Ancients, like in front of the house, where we went to find Sephiroth and Aerith, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's some kind of liquid in the area.
It just starts raining.
It's come. So it, like the water is like completely coming down on top of that crystal now, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like creating like a curtain of sorts around it. Does that make sense? Like a waterfall all the way around it. And we talked to Bugenhagen, and he says, "Now go inside. Hope may be inside, or ...
Nope.
or nah."
Nope.
But yeah, so we walk through like the curtain of water, the waterfall, to see that like the crystal inside is still dry. It's just kind of like creating a water curtain all the way around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can stand in the middle of it, like a cylindrical waterfall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of weird to describe, but I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, it's also weird to describe too, because like the last time we were here, we also had the thing of like, where the fuck are we? Like we're underwater, but we're also not underwater.
Yeah.
It's like the same sort of thing.
It's a tube.
It's the Gungan city again.
Yeah, but I like I was saying about like the music box, like the weird like mechanically consistent logic of how some of the things that the ancients have work, you know?
Yeah.
Like the key makes sense as a music box thing, because as it turns, it plucks the little tines. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And then like the water, all it's doing is just causing a screen for an image to be projected.
Yeah.
It turns out that crystal in the middle is just like a projector.
Right.
And like, and the actual screen is projecting onto is the water around it. So it's kind of neat. I like that it's like mechanically sound in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes a sense of like ancient technology, ancient magic technology. I also like what the camera does here, where it kind of like zooms past everyone.
Yeah,
and like goes over the shoulder. Like it's still the field models and all of that, but it kind of just shows you that projection that we're now seeing.
Yeah, and it on the water is projected the scene where Aerith dies, right? But you don't see like.
You don't see the violence.
You don't see the violence. It's after that. It shows us the materia bouncing and landing in the water, and then settling at the bottom of the lake bed.
Yeah.
Right. Like of like when it actually happened, the materia bounced off and fell off. Right.
Yeah.
So it shows us that it fell into the bottom of the lake bed and then started to turn that pale green, which Bugenhagen told us earlier that like, oh, when holy is used, it turns pale green.
Exactly.
So that kind of becomes the mystery here, is like, oh, well, she used it. Why is
why did
working?
Meteor still happen?
Yeah. So Cloud says, Eris has already prayed for holy. After I gave black materia to Sephiroth, Eris's words came into my dreams. She said she was the only one who could stop Sephiroth, and to do that, there was a secret here. That was holy. That's why she had the white materia. Eris knew about here and what she had to do. She left us a great hope, but it cost her life and her future.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm sorry, I should have figured it out sooner. You left without saying a word. It was all so sudden.
I couldn't think.
Yeah.
That's why it took so long for me to find out. But Aerith, I understand now. Aerith, I'll do the rest.
And I had Yuvi, and she says, not I'll do the rest, we'll do the rest. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Vincent.
She calls him a Dorcas, too. Which is like
oh my
amazing.
God, that's so good. Vincent just says I for a second I thought it was an interrobang and I got excited, but it just says I, you mean we.
Yeah.
And Tifa says, what Aerith left us, we shouldn't waste.
Yeah, Sid has like a similar follow-up where he says, that flower girl gave us a big chance. It'd be sad if we didn't finish it.
Hell yeah.
Which, again, just calling her a girl. He never uses any of his friends' names.
Yeah, come on.
So, that's Sid.
At least the female ones.
Yeah. So like I said, there's a lot of text. So they the gist of it is they talk about like, oh, it's glowing green. Why is it not working? Like, why hasn't Holly been cast? And Bugenhagen says, well, something's getting in its way. Yeah, and everybody pretty quickly realizes, Cloud just says, ... him.
Him from the Powerpuff Girls.
So Sephiroth is somehow blocking Holy from being used.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe something about like the fact that he's like inside the planet and like has like some kind of will over the live stream right now or something.
Deep in the stream.
He's deep in the stream, and it's causing Holy not to actually go off, to pop off.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also just kind of like a lot of people have talked about the will of Sephiroth and how strong it is and everything. Yeah. So it's like something like we need to like do something about that.
Also, I was thinking about it like the incredibly strong will of Sephiroth and everything. Like, Sephiroth doesn't know that he's also like just 100% wrong about what he thinks too.
True, yeah.
Where like somebody could be like, "Yo, homie, I got some real bad news for you. So you're adopted. Genova's not your mom. You're not an ancient, and literally have nothing to do with them at all.
Yeah,
like biologically completely separate from the ancients. Sorry, bud. Yeah." Like, oh man, I took the
He's just like, that's what I wanted you to think. I placed that in your mind because I knew you would try to own me. Yeah, but then we're back outside, like in the like amphitheater place, and
Kate Sith calls us.
Yeah, we got a nice little ringtone going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please enjoy the music while your party is reached. And Cloud just says, "What the?" He answers it, and then we see like the transparent text box, and it's Ketchi, and they say, "Whisper, whisper," and then in like parentheses, "Sorry, I was a little surprised." And Cloud says, "What happened?" And then he says, "You remember when the Junon cannon disappeared? Actually, Rufus moved it."
Yeah, he says, "Moved it? That big thing? Where and why?"
And then Ket says, Rufus wants to destroy Sephiroth with it. That cannon operates on huge materia, but the huge materia has already been used in the rocket plan.
I was going to say, but no.
So since the cannon's useless right now, he decided to move it to a place where where Mako is gathered. And Cloud's like, "Oh, where is that?
Where is that?" And then we get the fucking most bitchin' FMV in the fucking game.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's real cool.
And it's cool because, like, so the FMV opens and it just shows Meteor in the sky, right? And the sky is now, like, a nasty vomit green. It's even more oppressive and gross looking.
And then, like, a helicopter just starts,
a helicopter flies by. And we see that, like, the camera like pans down onto Midgar.
Yeah.
Right? So he's moved the cannon to Midgar. Mm-hmm. And like, God, it looks so cool.
It does look real fucking awesome.
Because like it's like, what would you call that? I was like, ham-fisted is not the right word for it, but it's very like, the cannon's clearly put in after the fact. Like Midgar was not designed to have this cannon, so there's like all these like struts and like
it's very makeshift.
They didn't even install it in the middle of Midgar. They could have put it on the edge of Midgar.
Well, now so it now extrudes from the
center,
from the center of
from the headquarters.
From the headquarters,
yeah,
it extrudes from the headquarters, and it's so like so we get like a good like sense of scale here for the cannon. It's so large that it actually goes past the slums. Like it goes past the border and the outside
way past
wall.
The plate.
Way
past that fucking pizza.
yeah. It's a big anchovy on this pizza.
So they just again this. I'm not sure if I brought this up last time we saw the cannon get used. Did they just build it pointed at whatever? They just build it pointed at Sephiroth.
So I think so. I wanted to bring this up later in the episode. Because there's something that happens where I was like, well, how fucking fortunate is it that this happened at exactly this angle?
Yeah.
There's not too much more to say about the cutscene other than it just is amazing.
There's a lot more than just one helicopter. I think that's pretty much...
Yeah, there's a lot
There's a bunch of them flying around.
It shows that it has like these gigantic like tubes hooked to the different Mako reactors.
Yeah.
So like... all of the Mako reactors of Midgar are feeding this cannon now. So it's like, oh shit, the fucking if the stakes were not already incredibly high, like they've been raised even higher now.
You know that Midgar is keeping that MF thing on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And after the FMV, we actually cut into Rufus's office.
Yeah.
Into the headquarters where we were the first time.
Right.
Right when we came to the.
I think this is probably like the same desk that his father was sitting in when
he was killed.
Yeah. So Rufus is just sitting there, and he's got Reeve, Heidegger, and Scarlet.
Right. Have we met Reeve before?
Yeah.
Yes.
When have we met Reeve? I forget.
Like early in the game.
Yeah.
Early in the game? Okay.
Do you remember?
Or was he at the round table discussion?
He was the one who he was talking to President Shinra, and President Shinra was like, "Hey, you need to take a vacation. Like, you're way too stressed."
Okay.
Because he
Yeah.
was kind of like,
When they were gonna drop the plate, he was like, "You can't
You
drop
can't
the
do
plate.
that,
You're
yeah.
gonna kill all kinds of civilians."
Okay.
and they're
so
like,
it
"Yeah,
is-
it's fine. We'll blame it on Avalanche." And then he's like, "No, you shouldn't do that." And he's like, "Reeve, you need to take a vacation. This shit's getting to you."
Yeah. Right.
Gotcha.
And he's been in like that boardroom meeting.
Yeah, he was there.
was
I think he
there,
was in like a recent meeting that we saw as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So so Rufus says, "Reeve, it's your job to adjust the reactor's output."
Yeah,
And he just like looks down.
he
and says,
slumps
"I
down a little
see."
bit and says,
Yeah.
"I see." Yeah.
Because again, like the Mako reactors are going to be what's feeding this thing, but the reactors also feed the slums
Everything
and
else,
the
yeah.
pizza and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he's basically telling him like,
Reroute the power from
From-
everyone that
Yeah.
needs it, and
That sounds familiar.
yeah, right.
yeah, I was gonna say not at all like anything happening right now.
Yeah. But Scarlet says, "Kia ha ha. Don't worry about adjusting it, Reeve. Once you open it up all the way, everything will go full speed."
That almost rhymes.
Yeah, Heidegger does his
Yeah.
horse laugh. Yeah, the president's sure done it this time. The whole idea that Meteor will disappear if we defeat Sephiroth is all wrong. And then I was like,
It's pretty
Wait, what?
astute. Yeah.
like he's just like, are
Like,
they
where are you getting
arguing?
that
Are they
from?
arguing about this, or is he agreeing? I can't tell.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think
I think that's probably a conclusion that Rufus came to, maybe, and he's like, "Oh, the president got it right. Even if we destroy Sephiroth, like Meteor is still going to be here."
Yeah.
Like that's. I think that is their theory that they have right now.
Scarlet says, "If you remember, Mr. President, it was my idea to fire Mako-powered shells. What a fucking kiss ass."
Yeah. Exactly.
And Rufus is just like real business about it. He's like, "Will the shells really reach the northern border?" And Scarlet laughs and says, "Of course." But
Of course.
Mr. President, let's not call it a Mako cannon. The new weapon is called, and then goes, the Sister Ray.
Yeah.
And she like throws her arm to the side, but we already knew it was called the Sister
Yeah, we
Ray.
already knew it was called the Sugar Ray. Like,
Yeah, because it was written on the side. It's
We're
fine.
gonna blow up the North Pole.
Yeah.
Christmas is canceled,
Yeah,
motherfuckers. Shinra's got real Grinch energy right now.
But yeah, that's the end of that scene. Is that they just kind of announce that. So
Yeah.
we see that where the cannon's been moved. And
Yeah.
everything, yeah. And we're back to the group, and we're outside of
Outside of the City of the Ancients.
that city of the ancients.
Oh yeah, I'm actually on in the screenshot. Cloud is just on the chocobo, the gold chocobo.
And then the earth starts shaking immediately.
Yep.
And Cloud's like, "What the?"
Mm-hmm.
And like the camera moves away from us, goes across the whole damn world to like where Midgar is.
Yeah, and we see on the overworld like Midgar is still the very like large, like structure and everything, and like desolate and like all the darkness and stuff. But
Yeah.
now there's the huge fucking cannon.
Yeah,
on it,
I know.
And it looks
yeah.
so goddamn cool.
It's so awesome. And then fucking a goddamn kaiju raises out of the fucking water.
Oh yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah, it's real wild. It's the largest thing on the world map to
Yep.
this point
Yep.
is this fucking weapon.
And it
that's
just
raising
starts
out of the water.
fucking walking.
Yeah, and to be clear, it's not Emerald weapon that we saw in the water
Yeah,
before.
it's a different one.
Yeah. It's
This one is like completely like white or like silverish.
yeah. It looks like it's like made of stone or something.
Yeah,
like
it looks like an Ultraman kaiju. I feel like
Yeah.
if people are familiar.
It
with
also
that.
has a cape
Yeah, and it's got like big ass shoulder pads.
and like
Clearly a jock.
I feel like this is like it's like a biologic creature, right? Like it doesn't wear
Yeah.
clothes. It's like Throw and Sock from Pokemon, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Why does Pokemon have clothes? like
It's very strange. Like the
why
a lot
why
of the,
does Weapon have clothes?
yeah the build of the weapons are so weird because some of them like we talked about the one that was very like aquatic life looking.
God, I love that one.
Yeah, so cool looking. This one just looks like a straight up mech.
It looks like a Gundam.
A Gundam. Yeah.
Yeah, just straight up big old shoulder pads and Yeah, it even has like it looks like a power core in its chest. You know? Yeah. But it's gray.
Yeah, and it's walking.
It's also like I don't know when I kind of got the sense it almost is wearing like a helmet too.
Yeah, it could
like
be.
when we see it a little.
Yeah,
bit
it's just got
closer
armor
up.
on.
I feel like most of the weapons so far have had like a helmet of some sort, right?
Well, I mean, like I could see like in the same way that you could say like a crustacean has armor. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how the other ones reminded. Like they reminded me of that, I guess.
Weapons are just hermit crabs.
Yo, ultimate weapon, kind of like a hermit crab.
Hell yeah.
Because it has all his legs and everything.
Did you guys see that post going around about hermit crabs?
No.
And how there's like someone was studying hermit crabs and they found out this amazing thing where like if a hermit crab outgrows its shell and it crawls out, other hermit crabs will like come to
Queue
like
up.
try and grab that. You know, that's free real estate. And if they go in and it doesn't fit very well, they like go out and just stand around for 12 hours waiting for other hermit crabs to come. And then the hermit crabs all line up in like size order to see like who will get that shell that was left.
Yeah.
They'll take that shell and then everyone like down the road will just like switch to their next shell.
Yeah, like organize
Like in
it all
size
out.
order. Like that's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. So that's basically what the weapons do.
I know one of the
That's my headcanon.
one of the top comments on that Twitter post was, "I had 2 hermit crabs. One cut the other one in half." And I was like, yes.
There's 2 kind of people in this world. It's free real estate.
He's got these what do you call that part in your armor with the shoulders?
The shoulder pads.
pauldrons.
The pauldrons look like they're giant like jaws almost.
They do, yeah.
What is a pauldron? I've never heard of that.
It's where you keep your pod.
Pee is stored in the pauldron.
It's a cauldron for your pod. Yes.
Pod cauldron. That's if we had multiple podcasts and we had like one company that like put them all out, it'd be pod cauldron.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, pauldron is you know how like at funerals there's pallbearers who like carry the casket. If they're carrying an urn, they're called the pauldron.
Pauldron. Time for the urn.
It's time for the urn.
All right. Anyway,
Yuffie's got one pauldron.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Cloud does too.
He does.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got like a weird sea mine looking one.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, Minesweeper.
Yeah. So
we're on the high wind.
yeah.
In the like control room.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just kind of kicks us back there, which is pretty
Okay.
funny, and I'll talk about when we get through this as well.
Yeah, and
But-
Sid says, "What's wrong?" And I think one of the technicians says, "It's a strange signal."
Yeah, and there's like flashing red lights as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that one of the technicians says, "It's coming from this person," and then a question mark in parentheses.
It's that guy.
Yeah, it's that guy. But I like the question mark in parentheses. I feel like is a very like modern Twitter thing to do. Like,
yeah.
It's like
Sick.
you know what? I wonder how.
SIC.
Yeah,
sick.
I wonder how many like how many modern day like typing parlance or whatever is actually like influenced by JRPGs.
Yeah, that's a good
and the
point.
way that like they were translated and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I always type in alternating caps like that. The president
Dealing in FFVIII,
Dealing the
yeah.
decoy.
Young lady. Yeah. Ket says, "Wow, that was a surprise. The controls went crazy. This ain't good."
Yeah.
I think he's talking about controlling the stuffed animal.
Yeah, I think he's saying his controls
Yeah.
just went crazy.
Yeah, right.
Is that power surge or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He says, "Weapon came out of the sea and is heading straight for Midgar."
Out the water.
Out of the water. Cloud says the new weapon should stop him, right?
Yeah,
like
talking about the cannon.
Yeah, exactly. He says, "I don't know if it's ready or not." And then Barrett's like, "Hey, what's gonna happen to Marlene?" And he says, "Hey, don't you worry. Marlene's in a safe place. She's with Aerith's mama."
Don't you worry, none.
Yeah.
And like the way that Ketchi always speaks, I have to imagine that like whoever is controlling it is like hamming up the voice, being like very cartoony, like "Don't you worry, none," like very Disney Mickey Mouse like sort of thing. That's why it's like Aerith's mom was real sad when she was dead, like just like
She was cried. She was crying herself silly.
She was crying herself silly.
You know what? I've never God damn it. I've never read that into I never read that into Kate's voice. But now I feel like I need to play the whole game again.
Yeah.
Because that makes it so much better.
I forget what like
Hire us to direct the new Final Fantasy VII.
I can't remember with Advent Children how that's like characterized with like voice acting,
Yeah.
or in any of the other appearances that Ketchi has in
Yeah.
the series. But
We'll get to it.
We do get a fucking great interaction right here, though.
Oh, yeah.
An interaction that I love.
yeah,
And like I think that like yeah, so after Kate says like, oh, she's safe, he kind of like does a little fidget and turns around.
yeah,
And Kate sits like, what was that scratching just now? I think he's like feeling insulted by like whatever Barrett just did. You
Yeah.
know? And Barrett says, Kate says, as long as Marlene is safe, who cares what else happens, right? And he's kind of like being like snide about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, as long as your kid's safe, then who fucking cares about what happens to anybody else? That's
Yeah.
what you're thinking, right? And then he the stuffed animal walks up to Barrett and says, I've been itching to say this to you for a while now. When you blew up the Sector 1 reactor, how many do you think died?
yeah.
And like, oh my
and Barrett's
God.
just like ...
Yeah.
That was for the life of the planet. You got to expect a few casualties. And then Ket is just like, a few? What do you mean a few? Like, what may have been a few to you is everything to those who died. Protect the planet. Ha, that sure sounds good. And no one will go against you. So you think you can do whatever you want, right? And then like Barrett continues on and he's just like, I don't want to hear that from no one in Shinra.
Yeah, and Kate says, can't do anything about that. And,
Yeah.
and Cloud's just like, stop it, both of you.
Yeah.
And like, it was just like really good though. Like
Yeah.
I love that. 'Cause,
It's
like,
a good back and forth because like Ket's got a point.
and he's a dude. He's someone in Shinra, so he's been in Midgar the whole time. And
Yeah.
he's like having to,
And you gotta
he sees
imagine
all
that-
these casualties.
Yeah,
you know?
you got to imagine too that like a lot of like the people who died in that attack, like Ket probably knew.
Yeah.
Like maybe not like best friends with them or anything, but like workplace acquaintances and shit.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And this dude's very like embarrassed, very callous about it. Like, oh, it had to be done, whatever.
Yeah. I like that he waits until this exact moment to be like, you know what, motherfucker, I've held this back for too long.
I
got
know,
some
I know.
shit I gotta say to
Yeah.
you.
Well, I think like it might be because like that
The whole thing with Marlene, yeah.
Well, I was
I
gonna
feel
say like maybe even about like the apocalyptic atmosphere where everybody's like, you know what, no use holding on to grudges now.
Yeah.
May as well let them fucking rip.
Yeah, exactly.
ain't none of us gonna be around much longer.
Much like the famous Beyblade, we will let it rip. But Tifa kind of interjects and she says, Ketchi, Barrett, he knows what he did. What we did in Midgar can't be forgotten no matter what the reason. Wait, who says that? Is that Barrett?
That's
or-
Tifa.
Okay, so Tifa's still saying that. Yeah, and then she says, right? We haven't forgotten, right? I know you. You can't just quit the company because you're worried about the people in Midgar, right? And then she's like,
She looks at Cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
like,
And-
Cloud,
yeah,
say something.
Cloud, yeah. And Cloud just says, "Okay, let's go. We'll beat Weapon ourselves." Which, fuck yeah.
I like how Cloud's just gonna deflect this whole situation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hate seeing my friends fight. We're just gonna
You know what I would rather do than have to sit here and listen to this is
kick
go
the
fuck-
shit out of this towering monstrosity.
yeah,
that
yeah. With my- yeah. And like Sid's even like, yo, do you think we can win against that monster? We have a chance of winning, right?
Yep.
And then Cloud's just like, how would I know?
I love that so much.
He just doesn't want to sit around and listen to them fucking
Parents are
complain.
fighting. I'm gonna go fight Godzilla.
I'm putting my dukes up. Yeah, and he says, but that's no reason for us to just let him go. We're going to Midgar and fight Weapon. Come on, let's move. And like Midgar's in like the blue.
Yeah,
text
to let
again.
us
Be
know.
like, hey, you
that's-
should go to
That's
Midgar.
where we're going next. And so
We have control of the highway.
yeah, and so to get there, we need to fly halfway around the world, and that takes some time. So I think we might have time to swamp shoot in the interim.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good.
All right, I like
think
it.
I can't remember if in the high wind if my chocobo was there or not. I can't remember if I had to like fly back,
Yeah.
get my chocobo, go back in
Oh.
the highway. I think in this instance I would have taken a screenshot of it, but that
Okay.
has happened a couple of times here
Okay.
where like you're controlling the high wind and then you're like, wait, where the fuck's my chocobo?
Yeah.
Does it show up on your map?
I think it does. Yeah,
Okay, good.
All right.
yeah.
Let's,
that's
Let
that.
her rip.
We're
let
gonna
her
we're
rip.
gonna go and take care of a few things, and we're gonna fight this giant fucking monster.
No problem.
Speaking of feet, this game, their characters have huge feet.
yeah,
And I can't wait to see them.
yeah. Let's see how big Tifa's feet are in the remake.
I don't
That's
know.
the
Oh
real
wait, no,
crime.
that's actually probably a thing that people are into.
I do.
The remake.
but I don't want them to be into.
I do think that like the character models in this game are very cute. Like I really,
I agree.
really
I love
like
it.
the models.
I remember playing through this like well after the fact of it being like looking good
Right.
and being like, oh, but this has so much charm. Like it's like I remember thinking like, yeah, remake would be cool because there's been the rumors about a remake for like pretty much since this game,
Yeah.
like, was like...
I like they keep the original character models for the remake, but they just put a lot of bloom on it.
Or they should just do the thing that Resident Evil 2 remake did.
God, I would love that.
You can just use the sprite,
Yeah.
the sprite models.
You New Game Plus, and then you get like the fucking the old FF7 models to play in the remake. God, that'd be great.
But yeah, I just remember being like, yeah, I would love a remake. I'm sure that would be cool, but I don't need one because I can just play this game over and over and over again.
Right. All right, so Weapon.
Weapons on his way.
Weapons on his way. Uh-oh. Weapons home. Weapons away. Weapons away. Start shitposting. Yeah, so like we were saying, Weapon has emerged from the ocean.
Yeah.
And is heading toward Midgar to
He's making
bring
his way,
love and peace to it.
Making his way downtown.
He is.
He's not walking fast, though.
God, no, he's slow.
If you count as miles per hour, it probably is.
Oh, yeah, he's probably going like 50 knots.
That was a good callback. Anyway,
so I got the call that Weapon was emerging right when I was outside Rocket Town because that's how I fucking got to the City of the Ancients. And so he was right there. He emerged like right next to Rocket Town. He was like, "Oh, there he is."
But he's walking the other way. Yeah.
So I just crashed the blimp into him.
Yeah. So if you crash the high wind into the Weapon when he's still in the ocean, Sid says, "Hey, what are you trying to do? Break the high wind? Let's fight on the ground."
Yeah, and it makes this great like whoosh, like noise, and you like get bounced back and stuff. It's very like reminiscent of when you try to fly into Northern Crater, like as the barrier is there. Yeah.
This is the only time we could see like a monster, pretty much any other creature on the overworld map.
There's one more or two more, 2, 3,
like.
Weapons.
Yeah, they're all
you can
weapons.
See weapons.
Only the weapons, yeah. So far, though, is this like pretty much the only time we can see one on the overworld map.
It's this and chocobos, I feel like, are the only creatures.
We can see emerald in the ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, this is
on the log in the bottom of the sea.
Exactly. right. And then after these next 2 episodes, we'll be able to see a couple more.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
So this is Diamond Weapon.
Oh yeah.
Shine bright like a diamond. Did y'all just sit
Diamond
there?
Weapon is unbreakable. Sorry, what?
So I got to at Midgar and just saved and just waited to see what happened.
Yeah.
If it would just like
game over.
Yeah, right. What does happen?
Yeah, what does happen?
He stops and just starts throbbing around.
He just starts
vibing.
He's just vibing.
Just vibing.
But yeah, you can see him like approaching the beach. And eventually he grounds, which is it's kind of happening a little slowly, but then he just kind of just stops.
He's just vibing.
He's just vibing, man.
He just stops on the outskirts of the Midgar kind of crater, I guess, the dead zone, of the surrounds.
He met you on the outskirts of town and said, "Romeo, save me."
But yeah, he's just waiting for you.
Yeah.
Just beckoning you.
But yeah, so when you walk into his character model, you get into a fucking fight with Weapon.
Yeah.
And you are tiny compared to Diamond Weapon.
Very tiny.
Like on the battle screen, you're like
a toe.
I was gonna say not even a toe. Like
so,
itty bitty compared to Weapon.
Yeah, and we've talked about the
God
scale.
damn! Look at those pauldrons. Where do you think he got those pauldrons?
Where could he have gotten those pauldrons?
Alex, where did he get those pauldrons?
Paul Jerome's Pauldrome.
The pauldron zone.
We're practically giving them away.
Crazy Paul is giving away so many pauldrons in the pauldron zone. Pauldrome. Ron Paul's
Ron Paul's Pauldron. Off 86.
Off 86. First order of business. You can steal the Rising Sun from him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Weapon for Yuffie.
Yuffie weapon. Second order of business. We've talked about scale a lot when we were talking about Ultima Weapon. Which also, is it called Ultima Weapon?
What? This is Diamond.
No. I'm talking about Ultima Weapon.
I know. I think it might be Ultimate.
I want to take a quick little tangent. Because in the fandom, it's called Ultimate Weapon.
Yeah, there are times where I swear I've seen Ultimate.
I think it's... Yeah, I don't know what it is because like I saw other people talking about it, like just completely separate from like the podcast and shit. And it's like, I think people do say Ultima Weapon. But like
I think the enemy...
God damn it.
We'll confirm this. We'll actually do our diligence on this. I believe it's Ultimate Weapon.
Yeah.
But the reason I think that everybody calls it the Ultima weapon is because the Ultima weapon is a recurring Final Fantasy thing.
Right.
Like, it's
right,
a trope in those games. And so if you have 20 instances of the Ultima weapon and one instance of the ultimate weapon, I could see where that one just kind of gets
it gets
swept under the rug.
conflated a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that might be the case. But we'll do our research on that one and get back.
But I was just thinking about that. I was like, shit, did we fuck up? We've never done that before.
Yeah.
We've never fucked up.
But we are tiny compared.
Talking about the scale of it, I was mentioning that I had the Chocobo with me pretty much the entire time because I refused to get off of it. Can we just take a look at the scale of the Chocobo?
On the world map.
Because you can see, so in the picture I have Cloud, Diamond Weapon walking up on the beach, the Highwind, and a Chocobo. The Chocobo is fucking enormous. It's like towering over the Highwind.
Yeah, on the icons of the world map, the Chocobo is twice the size of the
like, why didn't we just,
Highwind.
like, stand next to the fucking Diamond Weapon and attack the Chocobo and then hide behind? Like, it's like taking a fucking chicken to the Ganon fight.
It's like a horrible goose.
Yeah.
It's like trying to find a goose. Like, you're bigger than a goose, but like you don't want to fuck with a goose.
Yeah, right.
This Chocobo could take down Diamond Weapon.
Absolutely. Hey, we've determined before. We've discussed that the Chocobo has the most HP out of any.
Yeah, it can't be killed.
It cannot be killed.
It's a godless creature. It's a demon long dead with nothing left to lose.
It cannot be stopped, and it will not stop until you are dead. I don't know the entire monologue. Patch in the Terminator monologue right here, Alex.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Dun dun.
What is this?
Wait, was that the SVU thing or was that the Terminator?
That's the Law and Order thing. Anyway, so yeah, Diamond Weapon is goddamn enormous in the battle. And you know what I did? I have leveled up Throw recently.
Okay.
And turned it into Coin.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's a move called Guild Toss that's in multiple Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
And instead of throwing an item, like the throw materia would let you, it lets you throw money instead. And I was like, I sold so many all materias. I'll
just whip some coins at him.
I'll just whip some cash. So I whipped...
Dude, I fucking hate pay to win.
500,000 gil. I
Holy
threw 500,000 gil, and it did 0 damage.
Oh, my God. Oh, so you can choose how much to throw?
Yes, yeah. When you select it, you see your funds, and then you pick a certain amount to throw.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of kind of like the gimmick of this fight is that it just takes like 0 physical damage.
Yeah.
Because I'm still rolling with the Power Soul combo to just like instantly, like Tifa uses Death Blow when she hits its max damage, and when she just attacks regularly, it's still pretty much max damage.
Yeah.
And everything I did against weapon was just like 0.
For me, it came down to casting Flare and Ultima.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I ended up just using Knight of the Round after like stealing the Rising Sun. I also used Hades to see if I could cast any like status ailments on it. No status ailments happened, but it did do a little bit of damage.
Yeah. I didn't find Diamond Weapon too difficult.
No,
he does a good amount of damage when he does attack, though, right? Like he actually can rip you up pretty good, but he's slow enough that you can have time to heal from it. Unlike like when we fought Demon Wall, and I was just like, I don't have time to heal.
Yeah,
he's fucking me up. Like this guy is kind of slow, so it's
exactly.
It's kind of all right. And because of that too, you can reach your limit breaks pretty well.
Quickly,
so I gave him a fucking high wind from Sid.
Oh fuck yeah! And does that do damage?
It ruined his world, man. It fucked
him
all up.
Hell yeah! Because I didn't get any limit breaks in this fight, but I think I pretty much. I think it took me like exactly 60 seconds of like the timer because I'm looking at like the final condition, and Tifa's death countdown is at 0-0. But I also pretty much just like tried a couple of things and then was like, fuck this, Knights of the Round.
Yeah. I ended up so I have magic on Cloud and Yuffie, and I didn't have any like casting magic on Sid other than like Cure, and I was like, well shit, Sid's not really useful. But I had Mime on him, so after I would cast Ultima with Yuffie, I would have Sid mime it, and he would just throw an Ultima for free in there and get some damage done. Although what I noticed is that when you equip materia, I think we talked about this way early on in the podcast, but when you equip materia, there are some stats that come along with it, but they're usually very minimal. It'll be like magic damage plus 1%, or something like that, right? And usually equipping more magic it gives you less physical defense and less physical attack the more materia you have equipped. So when I was firing with Sid, I noticed it did a lot less damage because he didn't have any magic whip.
Yeah.
But because like my other two, like Cloud and Yuffie, just had a ton of like magic casting materia, they were just doing tons of damage.
Yeah.
But Sid also does more physical damage for me now, so it's kind of interesting how those mechanics play into it.
Yeah, it's one of those mechanics that like is known about, but I feel like no one really like utilizes them to their fullest. Like we talk about
it's so minor that you don't really have to.
Yeah, it's like not the thing where you're like, oh well, I really want to use Ultima Materia with this character, but I don't want to use it because then it'll change their stats in this way. You're kind of just like, fuck it, whatever, just throw whatever on whoever.
Yeah,
At least in what I've come across with people playing. Like I don't think anyone really strategizes with Materia that deep.
Yeah,
just because you can do so much with it without even needing to worry about that.
Right. Yeah, stats are not really like. The minutia of stats in this game are not really that necessary.
Yeah, and they're kind of broken too when you like factor in the
dude,
the fact
they're
that
so broken in this game.
You can just morph the like creatures in the Galnica into like the sources and pretty much just get like unlimited sources to just max out everyone's stats if you wanted to, which I might try and do.
Yeah. So I know that you and I enjoy speedruns.
Yes.
And a integral part of speedruns are frame perfect tricks.
Yes.
You can do the opposite of a speedrun trick in this battle, and if you perform a frame perfect menu right when the battle with Diamond Weapon is going to start, it bricks your save file.
Oh my god.
So it's like the opposite of a save.
It's like that joke I've been making for like weeks and like didn't realize that you could actually do that.
Yeah.
You just soft lock the game?
I hard lock the game.
Holy shit.
Well, because you can save on the overworld.
Yeah.
And so if you save during that save file is ruined.
Oh my
You
god.
can no longer play. You have to start over.
It's like there was this weird glitch item in Pokemon Red and Blue called like Nick or Nickname that would allow you to walk through like walls if you had like a tile of space next to it.
Yeah.
And I remember
right.
as a kid, I stupidly was like, oh, I wonder what it's like to be behind the counter in a Pokemon like large. So I went behind the counter and then saved.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, why did I save? And I couldn't escape it, so I just had to delete that file.
Well, so there was something else I wanted to look at about Diamond Weapon again. So I'm reading this off of the fandom. If Diamond is not killed in 3 rounds, it uses Diamond Flash and hits all your party members for 7/8 of their HP and inflicts silence on everybody.
Fuck.
But after that, it's not immune to physical damage anymore.
Oh, okay, so then you can attack it.
Yeah. But because I had those limit breaks, I didn't have to go that far. Because
Right.
I just gave him the fucking high wind, and it was over.
Yeah,
it was ogre for him.
I didn't make it that far either.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I think that's the thing, is that like if you spend a round or more like trying physical attacks, then you'll probably go over the 3-round limit.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was fine. And what's interesting too is when you beat Diamond doesn't run away.
Yeah, it doesn't die or anything.
It just zooms in on its face.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Which I have a picture of. And
Yeah, it looks so cool.
So gnarly.
It looks like an even more kick-ass version of Frieza after Frieza's final form.
Dude, Diamond Weapon's so fucking cool.
Another important thing is once you like finish that, because usually when we fought the Turks, I feel like, or enemies that have like run away or whatever, I feel like you don't always get experience or AP.
Yeah.
But Diamond Weapon gives you 35,000 experience points and 350 AP.
Wait, did you say 350? Because that's not correct.
3,500
yes,
AP.
3,500.
I knew I was going to fuck that up.
And I have Sid with the scimitar right now, which gives triple AP.
Holy shit.
Yo, so much AP out of that one.
Yeah.
Which, like, check this out. I'm just going to, like, flip through how many materia I, like, mastered and leveled up during this, right? So, like...
Okay, so you got... I'm going to read it off.
Okay.
Let's go. So it's...
Here we go.
You got Full Cure, Barrier leveled up, Neo Bahamut and all leveled up, HP Plus leveled up, all leveled up.
Yeah, that's all you got there.
No, that's fucking...
Yeah, so like...
And that's all materia that takes a lot of AP to level up, like any level.
Yeah. So
hell yeah.
That was very nice. Getting all that AP.
Oh yeah.
And after the battle end screen, it goes right into an FMV.
Yep.
Like there's no dialogue and no like character models or anything, right?
Yeah.
And Diamond is kind of stancing up, I guess.
Yeah, JoJo posing.
It's like JoJo posing, getting ready to like do some shit. And we see the party on the ground, and we do have our character models.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had Yuffie, and she says, huh, it's looking somewhere else. Doesn't it want to fight us?
Yeah, and Vincent says, doesn't look like it's after us. Something else, ...
Yeah, yeah. And Cloud says, no, it's feeling something. Yeah, it senses murder.
Hell yeah.
Which, like, I don't know, man. If I was standing next to Cloud, I'd be like, fuck you. How do you know that? You are making shit up.
How could you possibly know that?
Yeah.
For me, I had said, and he says, "What's wrong? You blowing us off?"
And then we can see a cool scene where, like, it's an FMV and we see Weapon slowly walking toward Midgar, but we're actually able to control our characters running around at its feet, like behind its feet.
Yeah, like still in the character models, but like the background is the FMV kind of.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Fucking huge.
It's so huge.
It's scary.
Sid says, "To my ship," and then we get a call from Kate Sith and Ketchi. And he says, "Oh no, let's hurry out of here. Something big. I'm talking really big is coming."
Yeah.
Yeah, and our scene goes over to the president's office again.
Yep.
And he's talking, the president's talking to Heidegger over like an intercom or the phone, right? And Heidegger says, "Yeah, haha, Mr. President, preparations for Sister Ray are now underway." And you hear Scarlet in the background laughing too.
Yeah.
And Rufus just says, "Fire."
Yeah, he says, "Anytime is fine. Fire."
Yeah, and he like points out the window. It's like real cool. And then we get the scene of like the Sister Ray with all of Midgar's reactors powering it, getting ready to fire.
Yeah, there's
it's
like
awesome.
Steam coming out of like the top of the
There's
reactors,
Mako
like,
steam
just all around, and like the cannon I think is like transforming and shit, and like loading up and getting ready to just fucking fire.
Yeah,
and we see like all the Mako like traveling through the cables to get into it.
Also, I will say this. I'm looking at. I got a picture up right now of Midgar. I don't see reactor number 1 being blown up.
They fixed it.
I think this might be a little bit of an inconsistency or something.
I'm sure they fixed it. It's been long enough.
I mean, that whole plate. Oh, I guess. Although you do see the plate drop though.
Yeah, so you do see the blocked plate, and okay, so it looks like. Maybe that didn't destroy the actual reactor there. Or no, is that coming from the headquarters?
We blew up
Shinra
reactor number 1.
Yeah.
The opening scene of the game.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyway,
so they're
it was so
powering
long ago.
somehow from there.
That was like 6 months ago, guys.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, this scene is really awesome though.
If
like
they can move a whole like cannon over here overnight, they can easily just like plop a new reactor down.
Yeah.
But oh man, this is so cool. Because like we said, like the cannon's like held up by like scaffolding and shit, and like these wires like go in between the scaffolding and like feed the cannon from the reactors. It's so fucking cool looking.
Yeah.
And you can see like bursts of green energy going through those tubes and those wires going to the cannon.
And you can see like pistons firing and
Yo,
stuff.
it's so good. It's very like mechanical. Like, it's so awesome. And right before it finally fires, all the energy gets sucked out of the reactors, and there's just a total blackout in Midgar.
Yeah.
Like, it literally takes all the fucking energy out of Midgar and, like, blacks it out.
It's a very like Death Star kind of like loading up, booting up kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super cool, too, when it's, like, charging up. There's, like, a swirl of, like, just, like, almost like an Aurora Borealis at this time of day. Et cetera. But it's like
right
just,
outside the barrel.
Yeah, and it's so fucking cool. And then it finally just fucking fires.
Oh, and I love, like, the way the recoil on the thing works, like all these like hydraulic pistons, like trying to keep it from like
just
bouncing back and destroying the entire city. Yeah, it's so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, and then we see like I think all of the windows of the Shinra headquarters just fucking shatter.
Yeah. The pressure from it makes all the windows in Shinra HQ shatter.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome. What a good touch. Oh my god. And so the screen goes back out to Weapon. Right, like showing.
I think it shows Rufus right before that.
Oh, that's right.
And then it goes out to Weapon.
Yeah,
Rufus is just like looking pretty smug that they fired it.
Weapons pauldrons open up, and they have like missile launchers in them.
Yeah,
apparently that's a biologic thing that the planet has too. It's just fucking pauldron missile launchers.
Yeah,
fucking Jaegers, man.
And it just starts fucking firing at Midgar, right?
Yeah,
and so in between this, like before we see the results of all the cannon fire and all the shots being fired from Weapon, we go back to the High Wind, and Tifa says, "Which direction is it going to attack?" And Red's like, "Midgar," and Barrett freaks out. He's like, "Oh, Marlene, no!"
Yeah, and then it shows like the trajectory of like what Weapon shot going towards where like the beam from the cannon is coming.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're like going past each other, and then it shows Weapon's face again.
Yeah.
And then like we get this fucking awesome scene of just like the high wind like circling the sky around where Weapon is.
Yeah. Oh, it's so there's so much happening at once in this. It's so awesome.
Yeah. And then we get ready to pour one out for our buddy.
Pour one out for Diamond Weapon.
Yeah, it just gets fucking shot right through the like center of it. Like
it gets officially owned.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's I think there was also like a glowing like red like section there that's like.
I thought that was like it's fucking organs.
Yeah, like it's very much like it seems like boss weak point. I don't think you could target it during the fight, but it just
the thing on his chest. Yeah.
It just gets hit like right through that.
Yeah, and the cannon blast goes through Weapon. Like it doesn't even like the energy doesn't even register the Weapon's there. It continues onward.
Yeah, like it doesn't even like blow up or anything. It's just fucking straight through.
Straight through him, just completely impales him. And Weapon like gets thrown backward too and like falls over. So like Diamond Weapon is done.
Yep.
R.I.P. to a real one.
Yeah, and
we hardly knew ye.
Yeah, and it's cool too because like there's like this one shot of it like falling backwards, and you can actually see like inside of it.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
It's real
yeah,
grisly. Yeah.
It's fucking wild, dude. Barrett says, "Damn," and Red's like, "Oh, it went right through Weapon," and then Cloud notices that the blast is still going and heading toward the north, and he says, "I see. They're after Sephiroth, the crater on the northern boundary."
Yep.
And we see the continuation of the cannon blast, and it hits that protective dome around the northern crater that Sephiroth's created, so we can't get in.
Yeah.
And just diffuses it.
Yeah.
It like smashes into it and gets rid of it. So now the northern crater is accessible.
Fuck yes.
So like, Shinra's plan did work.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like actually eliminated that barrier.
Yeah, they effectively killed two birds with one stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Taking down Weapon.
We were talking about Weapon attacking Junon from the sea earlier. I was like, okay, so they built this cannon into Midgar to point toward the northern crater. How fucking lucky is it that Weapon attacked perfectly from that direction?
Yeah. What's the deal with these weapons just like always walking towards the cannon?
Yeah,
like,
I know. I mean, like, yeah, thus far, like,
that's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I know. Shinra's has 100% taken care of both weapons that have come after them with one shot.
Yep.
It's wild. But, so fucking R.I.P.
Yep.
R.I.P. to a real one. Yeah.
That's the last of them.
R.I.P. in peace.
And now, okay, so
I'm excited.
I know you're excited. I've alluded to this multiple times throughout our podcast that there's going to be an episode eventually where I just become fucking unhinged and have the like worst hot takes ever. Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. This is where I'm getting ready to go fucking ape
Buck
shit.
wild.
Don't you ever just want to stop being nice? Don't you want to just go ape shit? I'm ready to go ape shit.
I want to be
What's the
bad like the
problem?
goose.
I want to be bad like the goose. Okay. An incredible and thematically appropriate scene happens right here.
Yeah.
It's fucking poetic, and I love
It's
it.
wonderful.
Just like
wonderful.
the Death Star with
Yeah.
with Rufus being Tarkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Iron Tarkin. Yeah.
Iron Tarkin.
But we're back in Rufus's office, and he's still standing there, and there's like someone who's like operator.
I like the operator too is in parentheses
and like lowercase.
And lowercase.
So it's like I guess it's coming over a loudspeaker, and it just says, "Sir, weapon's been defeated. The barrier has disappeared."
Yeah, and like Rufus is like kind of chilled out by that. He's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck yeah!"
He like walks in his face in
got
the
him.
camera now, and
He's facing the
flicks
camera.
his hair back. The
Yeah,
way
he
always
does. He looks like he's like, I did it, and
Yeah.
like, yo, this is actually a pretty badass scene. Rufus got some shit done.
Yeah.
Killed another weapon. Made it so that we can access Sephiroth. Like thus far, it seems like the planet's best chance of like salvation is Rufus. At
Yeah,
this point.
like he's not a fail son after all. I mean, depending on how you look at the planet's salvation, because like Weapon's technically trying to save the planet.
No, I know. Yeah, but like, yeah, you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
So yeah, Rufus is on. He's on top of the world, man.
He's having a good day.
Nothing could bring him down at this point. And
Game recognized game.
game recognized game.
Rufus is proving he's not a fail son.
Yeah,
It's-
and the operator comes back and says, "Sir, a massive high density energy is heading right for Midgar," and we see the streets of Midgar.
yeah.
And there's citizens running around saying, "Whoa, Weapon is attacking! Run for your lives!"
Yeah.
And these are like the energy missiles that Weapon sent out a little while ago.
Yeah.
So like we have
and
like
we can
a
actually see those in the sky during this.
yeah, it looks like an air raid or something like
Yeah.
that. And it like I said earlier, like there's a lot happening at once in this scene because we're kind of cutting back from the cannon blast to the people in the high wind. And all that. So I kind of get the impression that this is all happening at the same time. It's just we can only see one thing at a time, so we have to do it in chronological order. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we get a fucking FMV, man.
Yeah.
Showing Rufus in the president's office at the top of the Shinra Tower. And, like, looking right into the fucking blast, right? Like, the blast. And, like, they're each missing the tower, right? Like, one goes to the left, one goes to the right, you know? He's kind of staring him down and is like, oh, shit. You know? Have you ever seen the Star Trek movies?
Only the J.J. Abrams one, I think.
Oh, okay. In the original series of movies, in number 6, this reminds me of when the Klingon guy is watching the one, like, torpedo come toward him. Yeah. And he's, like, saying, is it to be or not to be, or whatever, or something like that. Because, like, it's like maybe gonna hit him, maybe it's not gonna hit him, maybe it is, and he's like staring down fucking fate right here, man. It's fucking gnarly. And then we just get a close up of his eyes, and he narrows his eyes just a little bit, and then what? Boom! Fucking one hits right in the fucking office. Blows up Shinra Tower. Yeah, there's smokes his ass.
Yeah, and like I have a screenshot here of just like an explosion going off, and like Rufus like right by it, and like just like
he like cringes.
And he just gets fucking owned.
How fucking thematically appropriate and amazing is that?
It's
that
so
like
fucking good.
At his moment of like highest, you know, like I've done it. I'm the greatest in the whole fucking world. Yeah. Just a fucking rogue missile from Weapon just fucking smokes him. Yeah. He's done. Yeah. Turns out humanity is insignificant. Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah. What good writing. Yeah. He's dead. And he's dead, Carl.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead forever.
He's completely dead forever.
Rest in piss.
Rest in piss. Rufus Shinra
is dead.
Advent Children will never change my mind. He is dead. Fucking Dirge of Servers will never change my mind. He is dead right now.
He's dead. He's gone.
Bringing him back in FF7 extended canon ruins it.
Yeah. Especially, too, because it's like...
No, this was his brother, Doofus.
This is a... Is this a bad time, guys? Rufus, too.
Yeah, but like it's so thematically fitting too that like when you think about like
I keep thinking about Rufus too.
And like this could just be me like again projecting, just being like, oh, we're the good guys, we're the protagonists, Rufus is the antagonist, because obviously like he's a fascist asshole, like absolutely terrible. But like Weapon, like Bugenhagen was just saying like, oh, like it's, you know, the planet's gonna decide like what matters, and it's gonna decide what it's got to take care of and stuff. Every single time we've seen Weapons so far, they've been like pretty much just walking towards wherever Shinra is.
Yeah, right.
Like walking towards Midgar because of what Shinra has done, and like all of the Mako that's being gathered.
That's why
there.
I think they keep doing that. Yeah, it's because
like they're like, oh, this is like the wound that we need to take care of. This is where we need to fucking attack, and it's like go and kill fucking Rufus, which is so like you were saying thematically important of just like that's the big threat to the planet. Like we gotta go after that.
Right. And like it's so good, but that's the part that I'm railing against. I get so upset about is that like
completely agree.
The extended universe of Final Fantasy VII, like they immediately are just like, no, just kidding, he's fine.
Yeah, like so spoilers for that, I guess, but it's also
we'll talk about it when we get to those things. I'm sure one day we'll talk about them on the podcast in some aspect or whatever. And like whatever, I get it. Okay, I'm not somebody who's like the whole series is ruined or whatever. Like
it's ruined.
It's
my
like
childhood.
Well, it's like we were saying about like the remake at one point, like. The extra things don't make this piece of media cease to exist.
Yeah, exactly.
I can still enjoy this piece of media beginning to end and cap it there. And as it is, right? It's still great all the way through. And like to me, I think it's incredibly thematically appropriate. It's wonderful that's how he meets his end.
Yeah.
And like it's not even a thing that we do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
We as the party didn't do it.
Like the entire time you're like, I want to kill this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And then like you don't even get to.
And I think that like because like we just fought Weapon too, like on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, took a couple thousand damage when he would do like a stomp move. You know what I mean? And so I feel like in a way that makes like again, the most powerful person in the entire fucking world was taken down by like a fucking magic missile or
just
whatever.
Like
you know,
one
like
shot,
just a one shot thing that just got fired. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
And that's why I think that works so well.
Yeah.
But
it's the kind of thing where I feel like there was like in Advent Children, I feel like there's a lot of like fan servicing stuff that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like this was like they thought it would be a fan servicey thing to be like, oh hey, like you know, like this character's back or whatever.
Your problematic fave is back.
The character dynamics you all love are still here. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we aren't
but
creating
it's
new
like
things. We're just bringing back the old same formula.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't been there yet, so we'll get to it.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to come off as fucking stubborn old man who
Yeah,
doesn't.
yelling
Old
at
man yells at
yelling
Cloud.
at Cloud, the party leader.
Yeah, right. Like I don't want to come off as that, but like I'm still allowed to have opinions.
Yeah, no.
I can still feel ways about
Absolutely.
things.
And I'm pretty sure too, when I saw Advent Children, it was like a couple months after I finished Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, yo, that's fucking awesome. Like I was so into it like the entire time. But I'm pretty sure even when they had that reveal, I was just like, oh well, that's kind of fucking lame. Like
It's
that doesn't
kind of-
make any sense.
Yeah, and even like the way that they do the reveal in the movie as well is like
Yeah.
it's very disappointing. I
Yeah.
felt like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get there.
yeah, it's like you
probably.
said. It's. I feel like that is like that piece of media, Advent Children, is a piece of fan service. That's what it
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
isn't necessarily like. It's not even like extra lore necessarily. It's just fan service. I feel like
I fucking
So-
hate that Rufus is in Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway,
No. I
just-
fully support
that's
you.
how I
and
feel about
I
it.
agree.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, as far as this podcast is concerned, right now
He's dead.
He's dead. Yo, get owned. Get wrecked. Rufus.
Time for the urn, motherfucker.
Time for the urn.
Owned.
That's all that's gonna be left of him after that, man. It's
Yep.
ashes, baby.
Yep.
Done. You're building. Done. You fucking
Whack.
whack.
You're building. Whack. But yeah,
His
so
corporation. Whack. the reactors. Whack.
your cannon. Pretty
Whack.
pretty
Oh
dope.
yeah.
Pretty dope.
The high wind is tight as fuck.
Yeah. So we're back on the high wind and we're like
Yeah,
at the
speaking of
deck
which.
again, like at the control station. And Cloud said, what happened to Sephiroth? Northern cave, ... Let's go see what happened to it. And then I think that's when you can take control and kind of go and talk to everyone.
Yeah. And they have some pretty interesting things to say. I feel like
Yeah.
Tifa says we're gonna go fight Sephiroth. I wonder what the inside of that cave looks like. You think Sephiroth is just sitting there waiting for Meteor? Like,
Sephiroth's just sitting there waiting for Meteor the way Millhouse is in the tent when his parents are having sex.
Yeah.
Just bobbing his head back and forth.
It's another good meme for this Twitter.
Ketchy says, wonder what Sephiroth's up to. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
Sure is boring around here.
I like Barrett says, when Avalanche was starting out, we used to put up flyers everywhere, and now we're up against Sephiroth. How about that?
That's really cool.
Is
feel
that
like-
how you actually recruited for Avalanche?
Dude, I believe it, because, like, you remember in
Yeah,
the
we actually
the very,
saw one of the flyers.
And there were, we saw flyers, we saw graffiti
Yeah.
on, like, a billboard. It seems like they were, like, real low budget, real goofy about it.
They were like,
I mean,
man.
aside from, like, killing innocent people in their
Yeah.
sleep, but, like,
This time last year, we were playing in basement shows. Like, now we're headlining.
now we're at Vans Warped Tour.
Traveling the world,
Yeah.
blowing up extinct monsters.
And then, I don't remember if we've gotten this information yet, but Vincent's
Oh my god,
dialogue.
yeah. Did we go?
Did we get this information?
No. This is the first drop of that.
Okay. So Vincent says, "Kill Sephiroth, killing the son of my beloved woman.
Mm-hmm.
Am I on the verge of committing another sin, or am I atoning as best I can for only standing by?"
Damn.
Yo, what?
What the fuck?
What?
Damn. Vincent's been in love with Genova all along.
The people who saw John Carpenter's The Thing and got real horny for it. Yeah, I don't think we'll. And
we'll go into that a little more
Interesting.
because that's a really cool plot.
Yeah, it is a
thing
very
that we
cool
haven't
one.
we haven't gotten to yet.
Thus far, we've had her name before, right? When we got Vincent.
There's only so
yeah,
many.
I-
There's only so many names left in the barrel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I
Things
think we
are
got the
starting to
name.
fall
We
into
did
place.
get the name. yeah.
Lucretia.
Lucretia, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember like pronouncing it really weird and being like, I never thought I've never had to
Yeah.
pronounce that out loud. I feel like
Yeah. So we know who that's Sephiroth's birth mother,
yeah, according to Vincent, yeah,
but we don't know his birth father.
right.
Yeah.
When will we find that?
What a mystery! What a mystery.
Mystery.
There's Donald Duck.
It's a mystery. I like as always. Yuffie's text gold.
Oh yeah.
She says, "What's the pilot like? Tell him Yuffie says if he pilots the plane smoothly, I'll give him my autograph."
Yeah, which is weird because it's like, oh wait, no, she's talking about the level 14 or whatever pilot, right?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I
Wait,
was
did
like,
we miss? No,
No.
okay. Sorry.
no, but like, I
cut it.
I remember reading that and being like, Dog, you know Sid. Like, you've hung out with Sid.
Well, I
you
don't
know what
think
he's like.
he's
She's not
not
talking about Sid.
Yeah, I think
she's talking about the actual pilot. I like for some reason.
Okay,
like,
you're thinking Sid.
I just hear the pilot,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah.
I was like, in my game.
Sid's not the pilot. He's the captain. God
That's
damn
right,
it.
damn it.
Hell yeah.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah. I like in my game, I've literally the party the whole time has been Yuffie and Sid. I was like, they're like super tight now. Which like I know we said this before, but like it's fun seeing interactions in between characters, and I think that like a lot of the interactions in your party in this game will happen the same way no matter what. It's like one person just says a thing to the other one. It's not necessarily scripted to be between that character and the other one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like when Yuffie's like, "Go God" or whatever. Like she's going to say that no matter who the other party member is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I really do in my like self head canon. I love this fucking Sid Yuffie dynamic that I've come up with somehow, and it's really funny. Because it's like crotchety old man and Zoomer, like
Boomer and Zoomer.
the boomer Zoomer dichotomy.
yeah.
Yeah, and Bugenhagen's upstairs, and he just says,
I love
"Traveling's
this.
wonderful, isn't it?"
like,
did you see what happened?
Were you watching?
he was looking the other direction. He was like looking out to sea and like didn't see any of it. He's just like, "Oh,
beautiful.
The ocean's so nice."
Yeah.
And like right behind him, the blast. Like,
he's hearing the explosions and like people screaming in Midgar.
and he's like,
just,
"The sound of the waves."
Yeah,
he
he's
thinks
like,
it's the ocean.
The wind
The
smells.
whales sound great.
The wind smells really good today.
Yeah. It's got that fresh wind smell.
I also went into like the chocobo stable to be like, oh, is my gold chocobo here? Because I keep just ending up on the high wind after like leaving my chocobo, and it's not there. And I was like, God damn it!
Get back in your cage.
So then
cutscenes.
you can go and talk to the pilot who is level 14 now, and he says, "Hey, Cloud!"
I love that his text now is just, "Hey, Cloud!"
Yeah, still learner pilot, but he's level 14. It's just 3 exclamation points.
Yeah,
and you can say, "Yeah, let's go," and then you're like on the overworld again, and you just see my chocobo down on the like right below it. Like,
son of a bitch.
I'm still thinking of like Life Aquatic. It was like, goodbye, Cody.
Yeah.
The dog. Oh no, we forgot Cody.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Bye, Cody. So yeah, you can fly to the northern crater. The barrier's gone.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you run up to it, Cloud says, "The barrier's gone." And he says, "Sid, can the airship get inside?" And Sid's like, "Huh? He's my pilot, ain't he? Of course, he can go anywhere." I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
fuck yeah, Sid has faith in him. I
Hell
love
yeah.
it. And Cloud even says, "Oh, right, sorry about that." It's so good. Oh, and then, okay, so important scene here.
Yeah.
Kate Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Sith is not facing the party. He's facing away from them.
Yeah.
And, like, talking to himself, right?
Right.
And Barrett says, "Yo, Kate Sith," or Ketchi or whatever, "now what?" And he says, "Hold it! Scarlet, Heidegger, what's going on?" And then we cut to the Shinra boardroom.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Heidegger, Scarlet, and Reeve are the only people in the room.
Yep.
Right? Heidegger says, "Strange, I can't reach the president." And Reeve says, "Not the president," to Sister Ray. That's the dialogue. That's what's written there.
Make that.
Wait.
Of that what you will. Yeah. What the fuck does that
Okay,
mean?
so I think Heidegger is saying like, "Strange, I can't reach the president," and Reeves is like, "No, don't contact the president. We got to go to the Sister Ray. Like something is over. So that's what
to the B-mobile.
That's
I
probably.
think it's like I'm not trying. Don't try to reach. Like I think because you see him kind of hand over a phone. Like no, don't. Like that's not where the problem's coming from. Like there's something happening at the Sister Ray we need to address.
Yeah.
Probably, but like the text is literally "not the president" to Sister Ray.
Yeah.
Like
Real weird.
That's so weird.
Real clunky. Yeah. And then Scarlet says, "Kia ha ha. What is it, Reeve? You're speaking strangely." And he says, "None of that matters. The reactor's output is increasing all by itself." And Scarlet's like, "Wait a minute. That's not wise."
Yeah. She says it must cool for 3 hours or it won't work. It's like a Hot Pocket. If you eat it right out of the microwave, it's
Yeah,
gonna
you
burn
gotta
your
be
mouth.
careful. Yeah.
She says, "Reeve, shut off the machine." And Reeve says, "We can't do that. It's inoperable." And then somebody calls him on the phone, or
Yeah.
he calls somebody. I don't
Yeah,
really know.
yeah.
But the other person on the other end speaks first and says, "Someone has switched on the machine. Or I'm sorry, someone has switched the machine over to mainframe operation.
Mm-hmm.
We can't operate it from here." Not quite correct IT terms, but
Yeah. Well, they hacked into the mainframe. They've hacked
Yeah.
the planet and they're hacking the world.
somebody is basically
Or whatever.
operating it somewhere else, and now they can
Yeah.
no longer operate the
Exactly.
sister ray.
So
Yeah.
they were trying to RDP into the sister ray. And, someone was logged on and denied the session, and
They were too
they didn't have the
distracted.
Microsoft license to allow more than one.
They were
Who do you think
trying to
installed all that cabling to
They were-
the fucking sister ray?
they were trying to edit the same Google Doc, but but the person who was in first hasn't logged out yet, so they can't edit that cell. Damn it! It's like calling you out, my boss, on the PTO calendar. Let me edit the PTO calendar.
Let
Log
him edit
out.
the PTO calendar, you coward. He needs to take his time off.
And as soon as Reeve hears about the mainframe, he looks at Heidegger and says, "Hey, call the mainframe." And Heidegger's just like, "What? Why are you giving me orders?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
everybody's
he's-
being fucking stubborn.
Yeah, and
Like,
Reeve is
I
just-
hate Heidegger.
He sucks so
He
much.
sucks
He's such an asshole.
so much.
But like Reeve has like no time for shit. He's like, I don't care how you do it.
Yeah. And we cut away again
To the mainframe.
to the mainframe of the sister ray. Oh,
that motherfucker.
that motherfucker. Fucking Professor Hojo's up
Yeah.
there.
And he's just like laughing to himself.
He's just laughing to himself
And he says-
really comically flailing about the keys.
Yeah.
Like when he like presses the buttons, he like puts his hand all the way over his head and like slaps the
Yeah,
keyboard
yeah.
with both hands too. He's just like he looks like Donkey Kong's down and B move in Smash Brothers. Like that's what he's doing.
Oh yeah. And and he just says like, just you wait, Sephiroth. I'll give you all the Mako you want.
Yeah, and you hear Reeve over the intercom say, "Hojo, stop! The cannon! No, Midgar itself is in danger." And Hojo says, "Haha, 1 or 2 Midgars? It's a small price to pay."
Yeah.
And we cut from this scene. Oh, wait, no, not yet, actually.
Yeah, no, and then Reeve is
Reeve's
just like,
just
Hojo,
screaming,
Hojo,
Hojo.
Snake,
Yeah.
Snake!
Yeah. Hojo says, "Show me, Sephiroth. It should be near. Go beyond the powers of science. Before your presence, science is powerless."
He's like, Sephiroth, you must live on and... wait, fuck, god damn it, what's the stupid chive thing? Keep calm and chive on. I fucking love science.
Well, yeah, no, it's like he's very much talking to Sephiroth like a god right now.
Yeah,
where he's like, but he says, "Beneath your presence."
Yeah, he says, I
Science
don't
power.
like it, but I'll comply.
Just let me see it.
Yeah.
So he just wants to like experience whatever Sephiroth's going to do. So fucked
Yeah,
up,
real
man.
fucking
So like,
dark.
yeah, Hojo's like accepted like Sephiroth's godhood at this point. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like actively helping him.
And we come back to the High Wind. When Barrett has both of his arms over his head and he's like standing on his tippy toes and he says,
I love this.
"Yo, do something, you big cat."
And then there's like a pretty hilarious like walking animation of Ketchi where like very like sheepish. and
Yeah,
very,
like sheepishly and like goes
like-
like little
yeah.
xylophone beat.
yeah. And he just walks up and he says, "We're sunk." Hojo's doing this on his own. And then like there's like ... question mark like a couple of those and he says, "Huh? I don't like this."
And I think that like what's happening is that there's like other like Kate Sith's controller
Yeah.
is getting other people's dialogue into like whatever microphone
Yeah.
he's using
Yeah.
to do it. And Barrett realizes what's going on and goes, "You're busted, Reeve."
Yeah, we got him.
Got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yeah, he
So,
says,
yeah.
"Too late trying to hide it now." And then Cloud says, "Can't you stop the Mako reactor?" And Ketchi, still on the highway, says, "We can't stop it." And then Barrett's like, "You're from Shinra, ain't you? Like, so why is it impossible?"
Yeah, he just ... And Sid says, "We came a long way to get here. You better not double cross us now."
Yeah.
And Ket says, "I can't make you trust me." Sid goes, "You damn fool, don't you understand what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about Shinra. If you're a man, no." And then he like corrects his misogyny. Halfway
Yeah.
through it, he goes, "If you're a man, no. If you're a human being, you'll save the planet. Don't you even care?"
Fuck yeah.
And then and I think like the thing is that like our party has a very simplistic view of how to do this or whatever.
Yeah.
And like Ket/Reeve, because now we know that it's
Yeah.
Reeve, says, "No way. If we shut down the reactor, all hell will break loose." Being like, "Yo, no, it's not as simple as you think. You can't just shut it down. Like
Right.
that doesn't work that way."
Yeah.
And Sid asks, like, "Can't you just shut off a valve?"
Real old man hours.
Yeah, I know.
Just turn the doodad off.
Wait, real quick aside. we missed a real good opportunity in the last episode when we were talking about Bugenhagen liking nature and machines. I totally forgot that he kept talking about his apparatus. And that would have been a good time to bring that back. That old man sure loved his apparatus.
Yeah, so everyone use your imagination and project that onto the last episode. Do our work for us.
Yeah. So Kate says, yeah, it's easy to shut off the reactor's pipe valves, and I feel like this is some fucking sciencey, wyancy bullshit or whatever, like reason they make up here.
Yeah.
But he says, but the reactor made a path for the energy to escape from below. Once you open that, it'll be impossible to close it until everything blasts out, and we can't try to stop the energy from gushing out. And Barrett says, an explosion, which I feel like is very like...
Very like Star Trek in the sense of being like, oh, you got to like say something that sounds complex and then instantly just do an analogy, like right after that to make it simple.
Like an explosion.
It's like on Futurama when they bring that up and he's just like filling in air with too much balloon, and then they do it again later and Fry is just like, it's like a balloon and something bad happens.
And like, yeah, and I think the thing is like, I think that they try to make something logic, and I think what they're going for is like, if the Mako doesn't have anywhere to go, it acts like electricity, and it grounds itself, I guess. But I guess like Mako is also explosive. So if you ground it all into the city will explode.
So I kind of got the thing that when he's talking about like the valves or whatever, it's like the pressure release stuff. So it's like before it was kind of routed in a way that it would like minimize like the blowback. Because like think back to Junon where they had like the blast shields and everything for when the cannon went off. Like they don't have that in Midgar at all. It's not built for that. And like they were able to like it even when they shot it, like the glass shattered at the Shinra headquarters. So I think what they're trying to get at is just like, oh, if the cannon fires again, Midgar is going to be completely destroyed because there's no like failsafe for like where the Mako energy has to go.
Right.
Like reaction, like equal opposite reaction.
Equal opportunity.
Action, reaction. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So. Kit says this blast will be way stronger than when the Sector 1 reactor blew up, which is a pretty big explosion.
Yeah.
But this is the whole city. Barrett says, damn. And Kit says, forget that. The cannon. We've got to get to Midgar. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then Cloud listening says, we have to stop Hojo first.
Yeah.
Which I guess is like...
Must stop Hojo, ... first.
Yeah. We cut back to... Reeve, Heidegger, and Scarlet, and now like the cat's out of the bag because he's a cat. Yeah, Reeve says, "Looks like Cloud and the others are on their way. Stay out of their way."
Yeah,
which I do like that. Like now he's like he knows that he's busted from both sides, and he's just like, "Look, they're on their way. They're gonna put this right. Don't fuck with them. Just stay out of their way."
Yep.
You know, like they're gonna take care of Hojo.
Yeah, and Heidegger says, "Yeah, ha 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 ha. Don't be foolish. I don't remember anyone putting you in charge. The Peace Preservation Force will do their best to beat the enemy. Because of them, I." And then Reeve says, "That's a private matter." And
what are they talking about there? Did he get busted down for something?
Probably. I mean, he's always been pissed off and like throwing people into the ocean and shit. Like that, punching the shit out of soldiers because he's like, always shown up by them. Maybe.
And Rufus is always like, "You fucked this up again, Heidegger."
He always blames him directly.
Yeah. So he might just be talking about like
he's like, "Yeah, you have a grudge against them because it's personal for you, but like now's not the time for that."
Right. Yeah. Heidegger says, the president is dead. Now I'm doing things my way. Gah ha ha. And Scarlet does her gah ha ha. She says, Heidegger, I'm going to use the new weapon. And then two Shinra soldiers bust in and restrain Reeve.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and he says, hey, wait, Cloud, everybody, sorry, but... And then it flashes over like of him just being held like by the soldiers, and he says, but, and then it shows Kate She's on the highway saying, but
you'll come, won't you?
Yeah.
And Cloud just says, I know, which weird translation, but I think he's saying like, yes.
Yeah.
Sid says, I leave the ship in your hands. I'm heading for Midgar.
Yeah, and then we finally get control of the High Wind again. And
then I missed this because I went right for Midgar. So if anybody would like to take it away for any extra dialogue we may be able to have here.
There's some cool dialogue you can talk to while you're, en route. I'm seeing if there's anything good here. It's lots of together stuff.
Like looking over a menu at a restaurant. Let me see if there's anything good.
Yeah, if I get fries, will you guys share it with me?
How's the Yuffie dialogue? Would you recommend?
Yeah, like, so Yuffie just says, head for Midgar. Anywhere's fine, I don't care, just hurry up and land this thing.
I love her. I love her.
Ketchia says, like, I can't apologize to y'all enough. If I was just a bit more a better feller, ain't none of this would have happened.
I love that he's still doing the voice.
Oh yeah, like come on, dude. Like, like, do you think the Shinra like guards are just there, like the fuck?
Yeah, he's just like talking into like his like breast pocket, and he's just like, "Well, if I was a better feller."
Yeah, it's just like Tom DeLonge in that one Blink-182 music video where he just mouths, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Sid's got some pretty interesting dialogue here. Apparently, he says, "We're busy running back and forth. Even my bikini goddess would be panting about now." Which, like, I think
the bikini goddess painted
painted
on the outside of the highway.
yeah, like very old, like like old timey, like Air Force sort of thing.
Yeah, like an Air Force like pinup.
Yeah, like a pinup girl on like a bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
Vincent, what does he say? Hojo, what a queer fellow. Such an utter lack of scientific talent. Compared with the genius of Dr. Gast, Lucretia chose him, trying to protect him. Now I understand. But...
What?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
More
lore.
Vincent flavor.
See, I always thought it was like completely coerced. We'll get there. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We don't want to talk about it too much until the end of the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But most importantly, the flavor text for the pilot. Unless you have another one.
Oh,
Do we talk about Nanaki's?
Oh, let's talk about it.
He says, I wonder why Hojo performed so many of these experiments. Why couldn't he content himself with quiet research?
Why couldn't he just read a book?
Why didn't he just read a nice book?
I love Red so much. God damn it.
So now we've arrived at Midgar.
Wait.
Right.
Pilot text.
So if we go up to the pilot,
Yeah.
before getting to Midgar, which like triggers an event,
Yes.
it'll be learner pilot level 14. But in flashing text next to level 14, it just says limit break.
Yeah.
So like he's at a limit break.
Yeah, I
right
know.
now.
That's
It's
so fucking good.
I'm really excited to see what his limit break is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, I was like, Sid's is a high wind. I wonder what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. He's
So
so
let's-
small compared to that wheel. Look at him.
It's so
It's
good.
cute.
So we're going to book it for Midgar.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Did anyone do the glitch here?
The glitch.
Are you guys aware of the glitch?
Tell me about this glitch.
You can skip all of Midgar.
Fuck off. What?
Yeah. So
Is this a speedrun strat?
yeah. So this is something that we've talked about a little bit. I think in the episode where there was like 14 goddamn clouds. And
Oh yeah, that's
or
right.
at some point we were talking
Oh,
about
how you can Cloud's always present in every cutscene, no matter what.
Every single cutscene needs to have Cloud, and that's just how the game is programmed. So he's usually off to the side or like invisible, so you can't see him. And when I'm pretty sure it's in the scene with Reeve, Scarlet, and Heidegger.
Yeah.
Like when it starts that screen, you can just walk to the right. Like if you're just holding down right, or your Joy-Con has the Joy-Con drift going to the right, you just skip over all of that, and you end up at the when we eventually get to Hojo, like where we're heading.
What?
You're just there. But interestingly, Cloud is still invisible. So like we get to that part where like we're at Hojo at the mainframe, which is after a whole section of the game that we're about to talk about, I think, next week. And like you just get right to it. And
Wow.
Cloud doesn't exist. Another thing that happens is it kind of just has like this weird like audio thing that's going on because it's like so out of sequence and everything.
Yeah.
That it's just like a crackling like electricity noise that happens in the scene.
Yeah.
And then after that it's just like I don't know how it works on the Switch. I should probably test this out at some point, but if you don't reset the console and you just go on to like the final disc after this part, you just have no music for the rest of the game until you like hard reset. So like in the speed run, it goes by like the real time attack of like
So you
actually
include
running the clock, including like if you're doing
resetting
resets and stuff like that. It's not like in-game time, so it wastes time to reset just to hear the music. So they just play the whole last part of the game with no music and only sound
That's
effects.
tragic.
Yeah, because there's some real good fucking songs.
There's some absolute bangers.
Yeah.
No, that's wild. I had no idea.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
So if you, I'll show you the picture here, but it's a scene from
That's
later.
right. Oh
but
wow, he's invisible.
There's no Cloud there. It's Cloud
Wow.
talking, but he's not there.
That's
So
amazing.
If you want to skip a whole episode,
Just skip right past. Yeah, the speed strat is to just skip the next episode and go right to the the one after that.
Wow, that's wild.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
so now we're above Midgar.
Yeah.
Right?
Pilot says we've reached Midgar, and Barrett says even if we get there, Midgar is under martial law. There's no way we'll slip into the slums.
Yeah. And Tifa says, looks like all transportation from the slums is cut off.
How do you know that, Tifa?
I know that because when
Yep.
I was asking, what do we do after the next section? Because I thought we were supposed to explore Midgar. So I went in through the slums.
Yeah.
Which involves a little like side quest to Rocket Town to get the
Do we have
key.
time? You want to talk about it now? You want to talk about this thing?
We can talk about it later, I guess, when
Yeah.
we go hunting for more items and stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
we'll have to go through
Yeah.
all this other stuff to collect
Okay.
the Bond eventually. So let's get to that later.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I know for a fact because I actually went there that yes, there's no way to get to the Shimmer Tower from the or the cannon from the slums.
Yeah.
It's like shiny gold wire of hope is gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no hope. We used to have cash, jobs, and hope.
And shiny golden wires of hope.
Yeah. Sid says, hey, what do you think we have the high wind for? Where are we now? And Barrett says, where are we now? And he's like, if land's a no-go, we'll go by air.
Where
Where
we're
we're
going.
going, where we're going, we don't need roads.
That's right. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Oh, fucking yeah.
Cloud says, okay, then we'll parachute into Midgar, and immediately they are fucking underway.
Yeah, everyone like runs.
This scene is
off
so
screen
good.
And like,
Okay, so hold on. When they all run, so everybody, yeah, you're right. Everybody starts running off screen. You know how like Vincent is kind of like down in a little machine pit. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like on the bottom of the screen. He like levitates
Yeah.
upward and then does a flip to like jump in line with the party, and everybody's like running in like single file line.
yeah,
And
he's just, like,
all of the technicians on the high wind turn around, face the party, and salute them as they run by.
it's so good.
and like the fucking like high wind music's playing and shit. It's
is this the
fucking-
high wind music playing here, or is it Sid's theme?
Oh, maybe it's Sid's theme.
I
Sorry.
can't remember which it is, but there's one point where you're flying the high wind around with Sid's theme on.
Yeah,
I think it's this part.
The listeners will be listening to it and they'll get the name wrong.
all right. Yeah, it's awesome. It's very like I hate using this. I gotta get a thesaurus in here. It's very epic.
It's very epic,
Yeah.
very gamer word.
But
Everyone just has no problem jumping.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
like everybody's just running toward the
The lower deck or whatever, the
Yeah.
observation deck.
yeah,
is.
the observation deck, yeah.
Where
Uh,
Bugenhagen is usually hanging out.
We run by where Yuffie usually is, and she joins the little line of people running, and,
Yeah.
and the other technicians, like the Chocobo stable technician and the person that lets us switch party members, they both salute us as we run up. And then we get to choose our party. We see all the different party members on the observation deck
Yeah.
standing in a heart arrangement. Have you
oh
noticed
yeah,
that?
I didn't
It is,
notice that.
It is a fucking heart.
Yeah, that's very cute.
Aw.
It's very cute.
And then like Cloud's the first one. I think like he kind of like just jumps up like both feet on the rail and jumps over. Tifa does a cool thing where she like puts her arm on the rail. And just,
yeah, she like
scoots over it.
parkours over it.
And I think Barrett
Vincent
does the same thing.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
of them do. Yeah. It is really good. Everybody jumps off the fucking high wind.
I love the way Red jumps because then he just does like the the cat thing when they're falling, or I mean dog too maybe.
Yeah.
Where they just spread out like completely to like be more like break
Yeah.
their fall a little bit, have more like
Wind resistance.
Yeah, wind
Yeah,
resistance.
yeah.
I was like, what's the opposite of aerodynamic?
Yeah, and we get a fucking awesome FMV
Oh,
where like
God,
the
it's so
camera's
cool.
underneath the high wind pointing up, and we see Meteor and now like Meteor's even bigger. Like it's probably the biggest we've
Yeah.
seen it in a
It's getting close.
FMV. It's getting close. We do not have much time until the fucking planet's ruined.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, man, we see everybody jumping off the fucking high wind.
Yeah,
dude,
they're all wearing their
parachuting
little
in Midgar.
backpacks.
Yeah, they're all wearing their backpacks.
Their little LL beans.
Yeah,
Their little Jan sports.
It is interesting because I do notice that everyone does have a differently designed
yeah.
parachute.
Yeah.
which
Yeah, or
is-
like a
for,
different
like-
color.
for something that's
Barrett
so,
has the tiniest one, which is really cute.
it is weird that they like bother to make different assets for every character for their parachute.
Yeah, they're like full different assets. I mean, they're like,
For such a brief thing, yeah.
yeah. I do like that you can do like flips with Cloud. in the
Yeah,
air.
yeah. If you
can
move the analog stick, he'll like,
do
do
backflips
barrel
and-
rolls.
Yeah,
and
barrel
stuff.
rolls and stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't notice
it's really
that.
cool. Yep. And you parachute. They pull the parachutes probably like when they're about as high as the sister ray is,
Yeah.
right?
Why don't they just land on top of the sister ray?
I'm actually
Man.
watching. I'm actually watching the video here, and I think when you like when the parachute gets activated, there's like a little hole in the very center of it that like you can sort of see through a little bit,
Yeah.
and like. If you can still control Cloud and make him do the flips,
That's
even though like
awesome.
it's just like a weird like I guess they didn't think anyone would like see that, but he's still flipping even though he's like
Yeah.
activated the
Obscured.
parachute. Yeah,
The party lands on a street in the Sector 5 slums,
Yeah.
right? And I wanted to point this out. the opening of the game, when we describe the opening has a theme called the bombing mission, right?
Yeah.
And what we see is, in the camera, during the very, very first FMV, the way the game opens, you hit new game, the camera descends down onto a sector as a train rolls in, and Avalanche is there to fucking fuck up a fucking reactor, right?
Yeah.
And you hear the bombing mission theme, that and you never fucking hear it again during the game. That's the only time you hear that fucking thing. Until you get like the same fucking camera angle, but this time it's behind a bunch of people parachuting, and they land back in the slums near a fucking reactor. And for the first time since the intro scene, you get and I was like,
good.
God damn it, that's such a good callback.
Yeah.
I like flipped out when I heard that. I was like, oh my God.
Fuck yeah.
That's some good directing right there. That's incredible.
It's so fucking good.
It's like some Edgar Wright kind of rhyming.
Oh
yeah.
Where like the end of his movies like mirror the beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that because that's kind of what this is, right? Is like
this is where Edgar Wright got it.
Yeah. We have the really quick like zoom in shots of Cloud tying his shoe and stuff like that. Yeah.
There is a Final Fantasy reference in Scott Pilgrim. I mean, it's in the comic, so it's more Brian Lee O'Malley. But
well, I talk about the bass line.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy too.
Scott Pilgrim plays the bass line. Yeah,
you fool! It's the bass line in all the Final Fantasy battles. Anyway, God, man, I just cannot say how much I love that. Like that, like we're finally back in Midgar for the first time since the beginning of the game.
Finally coming home.
And we get the same bombing mission music.
It's always weird going back to your hometown, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I was like, oh, there's an Arby's here now.
Yes, we parachuted into Midgar. There's an Arby's.
They knocked down the Pizza Hut. They turned it into a bank.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's so good. So, should we leave it there?
Well, I'll
the
say,
next screen.
I'll say, the next screen. There's a little bit of text here where Ket says, Heidegger is going after you all. That's why it's dangerous out there. So let's go underground.
Yeah.
And then you can walk up to a save point.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where we should leave it.
Yeah, there's also a little bit of flavor text just from the other people.
Sure,
yeah.
Also now.
Yuppie's is really good. She says, "This place smells gross. Let's get this over with."
Yeah. Red says, "I have an old score to settle with Hojo."
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and Barrett says, "May sound strange coming from me, but it feels good being back in Midgar."
Kind of makes me sick.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing line. It feels good being back. Kind of makes me sick.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's so good.
I like that Cloud's still wearing his
his backpack?
backpack until we go into the next screen. The screen, which is interesting.
All right, boys.
All right, I think that'll do it. We'll leave it.
That's a
we'll
lot.
Leave it there.
We'll leave it there until next week.
Next week
When we do the next part.
We will be recording again in 1 week from today.
That's half a fortnight.
In a week.
Half of fortnight dance.
Half a fortnight is.
It's called a tooth night.
I was gonna say half a fortnight is PUBG Battlegrounds. Anyway.
Or Minecraft.
Or Minecraft. Yeah, that's the other half. Yeah.
Thanks, Miku. So what are we gonna be playing next week? We're going in down that hole.
We're gonna go
Good deeper in the hole.
There's no getting off this hole. We're gonna go. We're gonna complete Midgar. Do everything that's with that. And there's a couple like story beats after Midgar that have to come up, and I think that's when we'll talk about all the extra jazz you can do in Midgar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
On the underside of the pizza.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Underneath
hey, Peter, welcome to the cool side of the pizza.
Underneath that fucking pizza.
That's right. Oh, man. This game is so fucking good, y'all.
It's so good. This part is very incredible. I'm excited to talk about it next week.
You know, there are only there's only so many screens, I feel like, in Midgar. But each one
dense.
Of them is just dense with things. Like
I don't know. Next week there's a lot of screens.
That's true. Technically, that is
okay.
true.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There's not very many screens on the
not many unique screens.
Let's say on the straight path, on the straight and narrow path from here to the end of this part. There's not that much. There's a lot of optional screens though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We'll do that next week
with the housekeeping
when we record it next week.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Wait.
To hold everyone over for next week.
Do you see that? Do you see that, guys? That's the curtain getting peeled back. We'll be recording the next episode in an hour.
It's the holidays.
That's right.
We're all very busy.
Alex, one of my favorite things that I've like since we've been friends, one of the things that I enjoy the most that I've like a thing that you say that I've taken and started using is calling the holidays the Hollandays.
Is that Holland, like the country
from your eggs, Benny.
Yeah,
or
yeah, like a sauce,
or the half of Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Real quick, other thing that we have to mention. There's another Loveless poster here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, Barrett's standing right in front of it.
Oh, you're right. I see it
Yeah,
now.
there it is.
Just still playing.
We're still playing.
How about it?
How
There's no
it?
escaping love. What was that? A bullet for my Valentine? What is that?
Yeah, My Bloody
Bullet
Valentine.
for my Valentine. No, that's the music that Vincent listens to. Is Bullet for my Valentine.
Yeah.
My Bloody Valentine? Is
My
that what-
Bloody
Yeah,
Valentine.
yeah.
Bullet for my Bloody Valentine. I brought you
My bloody
bullet for my Bloody Valentine's Day massacre. Damn,
We did
four
it!
bands at once. All right, sorry. Let's housekeep.
They're on their Midgar tour, just playing every reactor. There's like nowhere else to play.
Like there's comments on their Facebook page.
Our
You
tours-
guys never play Sector 5.
Come to Sector 5.
Yeah.
We used to play Seventh Heaven, but that
Yeah, I
place
was
blew
gonna
up.
say that. Yeah.
Sucks. I just heard about Seventh Heaven. That shit sucks.
All right.
Oh, beans. So yeah, theme music is a remix by DJ Cutman. Featured music is by Nobuo Uematsu. Is it Wamatsu or Wametsu?
Uematsu.
Uematsu.
Uematsu. But Corey contacted me and said Wamatsu.
Well, what would he know?
Corey, come back on the podcast and correct me, please.
We miss you, Corey.
Well, like,
Hold on.
here's the thing, like, ue, if you say it,
Uematsu.
if you
Put
say
another dime in the jukebox.
if you say ue really fast, it kind of sounds like a W. Ue,
Ue.
ue, yeah,
Ue.
ue, matsu.
Whoops. Feature music is by Nobuo Uematsu. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, tell all your friends.
Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Tell us what the wind smells like.
Tell us what Yuffie smells that smells gross in Midgar.
Yeah.
Tell me about the new restaurants opening up in your hometown.
Yeah.
Tell us if they kept the Pizza Hut roof for the bank that they built in your town.
Tell us where the best deals on pauldrons are in your area.
Going back to that dead mall.
That's right.
We are every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch.
That's right.
We're always posting bullshit up there and memes.
We
Unless you
got
shitpost.
some good bullshit.
But yeah, I think that'll about do it.
All right, well, let's get some lunch and then record the next episode.
Hell yeah.
And then make these people listen to it a week later.
Yeah.
What power we wield. That's my level 4 limit break.
Leave us a 5-star review and predict what you think we had for lunch.
And then we'll find out. Nate, you'll find out the next week if you were right. All right. Have a good.
See you next week.
See you next
See you
week.
next week.
Eyes of the cat in the black and blue. Something is coming for you. No! No! Race for the morning. Whoa! You can hide in the sun till you see the light. Oh, we will pray. It's all right. Gotta get away. Get away. Between the velvet lies. There's a truth that's hard as steel, yeah. The vision never dies. Like some never-ending wheel. Sing! Did it. I did it again. Did it. Wow, wow, wow. Did we find the thing yet?